Good evening. It's Monday, June 18th, and this is the Stunthangar video hangout. And it is looking a little glitchy so far, so hopefully everything is working all right. I went ahead and posted the links on Stunthangar in the live streams at the bench thread, and also put a better explanation on how to get to the YouTube chat box. Um, and I hope that helps some people. We've had a few that couldn't quite figure out how to get there, but anyway, looks like we got 3 viewers now. So I'll hang out with you until about midnight, somewhere between midnight and 1 o'clock Eastern time. It is 9:42 right now, and we'll talk about airplanes or whatever you want to talk about that has to do with mechanical things and tools and anything you like to play with, planes, trains, automobiles, or whatever. And maybe some of our guys that went to Brodak will drop in and give us some reports on that. I know a couple of people I know, Mike Linsky and Chris. He goes by #Liner in the Stunthangar forums. Both placed well, scored over 500 points in their at least one of their Pampa events. I think both flew in more than one event. One that I remember seeing the 500 points in is in profile. And so congratulations, guys, and everybody else that flew too, whether you flew well or flew badly. It doesn't make any difference. Nobody that didn't fly ever got a trophy, and nobody that didn't ever fly can claim they flew competitive control line aerobatics. So that's something, you can take with you. That's an honorable pursuit and a great hobby. And we're here to talk about all that. And meantime, we've got the YouTube chat box open, and there's our first visitor, Ron Hass. Good evening, Ron. Glad to see you pop in on us. I'm glad to see the chat box is working too, because a lot of things are like buttons aren't coming up with their icon picture and that kind of thing. It seems to be working all right, but I'm going to turn my bandwidth down a little bit and see if that helps. I might get a little fuzzier and jumpier. Yep, I did get fuzzier. I even shaved sometime recently. But anyway, and Bob Bishop just came in. Hey, Bob, glad to see you. And for all of you that are watching on the YouTube page, at the bottom of that chat box is the $ called Super Chat. If you would donate us a buck or two, that would be great. It helps Sparky keep the server fees paid and keep the show free and keep the show on, period. So I'm glad the show is able to continue, because it gives me something to do on Mondays and Fridays. Speaking of which, this is the last Monday, and this coming Friday will be the last Friday that we're doing the show, that I'm doing the show this month. I'll be on a little bit of a vacation. If Sparky chooses to come in and do it for those 2 days that I'm out, then maybe I can come in and do the same thing with him that you do with me. Looks like Gerald Wimmer says hello, Rusty, Bob, and Ron. And hopefully Gerald will be able to sign in soon, middle of the day where he is. So he has to interrupt his chores to come talk with us, but we appreciate that. Anybody that's willing to interrupt their chores and household duties is welcome to come in anytime. Looks like we got 7 viewers on YouTube. I know who 3 of them are now. So anyway, and Gerald just hit the super chat. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate that. And Ron, I will have a great vacation. Hope to do some fishing. Don't know how much stamina I've got for standing out on the beach casting and holding that 9-foot ugly stick, but I'm going to give it a try. That's what beach poles are for, to plug my rod into, and I guess I can sit in a chair next to the next to the pole and keep my hand on it. I never was wild about fishing like that. I kind of like to have the rod in my hand when a fish comes and bites, but we'll do whatever it takes, just like with flying, um, and see how she goes. But let's see, the mail came today, and let's see, I got something from Cox Engine Forums. He's getting fancy. He's even got his a baby bee on his personalized envelopes, and he sent me my wings. Let's see what else. There's something else in there. Here we go. Okay, yep. He sent me a Cox Engine Forum sticker and a new pair of wings for my lucky flying hat. He sent me 2 of these. They're iron-on, or what I found is I use the Loctite equivalent of 3M77 to spray these onto a hat, and they're on there. I put one on about 5 years ago on a Carhartt. That's a brand name cap. I took the leather patch with the Carhartt logo on it off, and glued that on, and it stays good. And so it's time for me to go get a new lucky flying hat. I think I'll get a white one for the summer. I dropped one of my wings on the floor. There it is. And so yeah, refresh some of the mojo. I need a refill the mojo in my lucky flying hat. So yeah, don't want to wear one out, and I'll use it as a lucky flying hat while I'm at the a lucky fishing hat while I'm at the beach. Let's see, somebody's message is being held for review. You can fly. Oh, an ugly stick. You can fish. Okay, I'm going to approve that message. No, I can't. It's being held for. Ron, they thought you were being nasty talking about an ugly stick. I don't know why YouTube flagged it, but what Ron wrote was great. You can fly an ugly stick and you can fish with an ugly stick. Life is great. It is. I don't know why that got flagged. I'll tinker with it and see if I can free it up so it is visible. Oh, there it is. So if it was a snake, it would have bit me. Now you can see it. All right. Thanks for the comment, Ron. Yeah, that's true. So I'd forgotten. I didn't even connect the two, the flying ugly stick and the fishing ugly stick. Both are fine machines, but the fishing ugly stick is a lot prettier. The damn things are made in China now. My best friend down at the beach, well, he lives at the beach. He is my best friend. Bought one, and I've had mine since 1980. I paid $75 for it. 9-foot BWS 1100 BWS for big water stick, and it's a medium action rod that will cast to the horizon with a 3-ounce sinker and a 2-hook leader on it, just for standing out in the surf and fishing. And it's been a great rod and reel. I've used it every summer since 1980. So that's hell, what, 40 years now, something like that. And so my friend goes out and buys one, and it looks like mine from a distance, except the colors are reversed. It's white, but it's got the around the rod to hold the eyes on, and all of that is a different color, black and yellow, the typical ugly stick colors. But no, it doesn't. If you get up close, the wrappings that hold the eyelets on are nothing but a decal on his Chinese ugly stick. And the hell of it is, now he got an 8-foot one, but he paid the same thing now in 2017. He bought it last summer, as I paid for mine in 1980, $75, which was a hell of a lot of money in 1980. Not so much now. And so that's just a pity. And Bob Bishop said, lost you right after the baby bee envelope. Oh, you did. Well, you missed my you missed my wings. The owner of Cox Engine Forum sent me these. I actually paid for one pair, but he sent me two and thanked me for all my help over the years. And so I'm going to make that's what I was talking about. I'm going to make my new lucky flying hat. And I got two of them. So I got a lucky fishing hat too. Okay. Uh, did you, I guess you're obviously back. You restarted. Okay. Well, good. You know what happened? You got an automatic timeout from YouTube because your message was flagged. I guess they thought that ugly stick comment was something bad. I hope we don't get demonetized for me saying those two words so many times. But anyway, I'm glad to see a good YouTube crowd coming in here. Ken Colbert says, "Are we having trouble here tonight?" I have lag. Yeah, we are. Hey, Steve.
Hey.
We are having some lag. Steve? Did you have any problem getting in?
I had to click twice for some reason.
I don't know what's going on. We all of the little buttons aren't working right up there where the controls are in the video screen, and none of their little icon buttons pictures are showing. But it seems to be working, I guess. But it might be a little glitchy. So if we start blinking off, that might be why. And Jamie just showed up too. Hey, Jamie, how you doing?
Hey.
And Gerald, when it rains, it pours. Come on in, Gerald.
Hey,
sir.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hey there.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey.
Everybody getting on at one time.
Yeah, we got a pretty good YouTube crowd built up already. But y'all missed my show and tell. I gotta pick something up off the floor. Hang on.
Jamie, did you get to fly your new plane yet?
Which one? That Prime Air Force?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was gonna fly when I went down to Houston, but my tank wasn't big enough to run the pattern. But I flown it before then, and I think I flew it 2 weekends ago.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much
like
put
it?
a gallon of fuel through it.
So you like the airplane?
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. I mean for a hand-me-down, and the construction's not, or it's not built top notch, for what it is. It don't fly that bad. Just a little trimming. We're just getting the engine figured out, tank adjustments and whatnot. But other than that, it's not too bad. The last adjustment they wanted me to do on it was put a metal back plate on it. It's a 47 metal back plate with a fresh gasket, and playing with mufflers as well, because it's still you still want to run a little here and there. I mean, we're getting close with it. It keeps each flight, it gets better and better.
So Sparky hasn't got on yet tonight either?
Not yet.
Yeah,
he might still be on the way home or something. I don't know. When did Brodak officially close? Was there anything going on yesterday?
No, it closed about 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
We pulled out of Brodak right at 2. We were all loading stuff. We said goodbye and jumped in the truck and took off.
Well, it looked like fun. I just today got the chance to watch Sparky's first video, and I didn't quite get all the way through it either, but he got some good footage, and it looked like everybody was having a great time.
Yeah, he posted the video of his, I think it was his first flight.
Yeah, what was that, the Monado?
No, that was his Junar.
Oh, was it? Okay, I couldn't tell in the video.
Yeah, and the judges wouldn't move, and he was flying the damn pattern 45 degrees to the wind. It was crazy. He kept blowing smoke to let them know where the wind was at.
Yeah.
They wouldn't move, and if he wouldn't have had a light airplane, it wouldn't have made it through there. I mean,
I know. I saw it wiggle one time. Was it in I don't remember if it was on one of his vertical climbs. I forget which stunt it was, but I saw that plane wiggle like a little twister came through and popped it as it was gaining altitude.
Yeah, when he's getting up there above the trees, I mean, he was hitting the wind wrong. I mean, shit, it was, when he's pulling up, it was hitting him at a 90-degree angle to the airplane.
Yeah.
You know, side.
That's where you do not want to be when a thermal blows through. And those trees, I've heard my buddy Wayne has flown in front of those trees a lot of years now. I don't think he was there this year, but he says he's finally getting the hang of it. But they really play hell with your patterns sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he didn't just call off the flight, you know, because they wouldn't move. But he flew it out. He got a pretty good damn score too. Flew a good pattern for
really.
like I said,
Yeah.
For
I
being,
saw that it wasn't a perfect pattern, but I'm thinking that was partially because of the wind making him go. Because I know that wiggle I saw was not the pilot, making a mistake. It was.
He did a hell of a job in the wind and being off. You know.
Yeah.
He should have been turned 45. You know. Or not 45, 90 degrees. It would be. He was 90 degrees off with the wind. He needed to come back to his left. And the judges didn't want to move from the pit area where they were sitting.
Yeah.
Chairs, so, but
flying in a wind wrong will make your loops walk to the right or the left too, which is hard to control if you're not straight downwind.
Well, yeah, the biggest thing is being light because he's doing, pulling into that loop and flying directly into the wind.
Yeah.
He did good, so.
I watched his video. I watched the video and it seemed quite a nice flight. I didn't really notice. I could see all the trees around. The trees looked nice, but you just think they'd play havoc with your plane. And his squares were really nice. He did a beautiful square eights. Hi, Charles.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hey, Steve, Bob Bishop says thanks for the HVAC advice.
Oh, tell him he's welcome. I hope that he gets it in, and it's a hell of a time with the heat we got to be, with the air conditioning down.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I told him that he should get one of them little Brodak. Oh, shit. I need to play Ringmaster. The Ringmaster electric stuff, because he said his mom can't, take the smell of dope and the dust. And I said that thing, goes, you just glue it together with a little bit of epoxy and stick it together. And I mean, it's a nice little deal, and you don't have to worry about any kind of oil soak or anything like that with it. Yeah. I have one, and everybody says it's the best flying Ringmaster they ever flown.
I like mine.
I still can't fly it worth a shit, but everybody else flies the hell out of it.
Yeah, Wayne's got an electric Ringmaster, and I think it's a pretty good flying little plane.
Yeah.
I like his Ringmaster.
The balance is perfect and shit the way Dennis has it designed, and I mean, I really like it. So, and it, if you make your loops too big in the landing gear hit, it'll actually bend the landing gear, but the plane stood up pretty well to that. But I always walk my loops down. I don't know that if I only had to do 2 in a pattern, I'd be okay. But that third one, the wheels always want to touch.
Sounds like you're doing the Yankin' Hope sort of loops rather than flying.
No, I try to fly, but I think I concentrate so hard on the airplane, I have no idea where it's at relative to the ground.
Okay.
I remember that happening to me too, is losing all focus of where the ground is during a flight.
I'm looking at making them nice and round and stuff like that. Next thing I know, it's like ground, wham! It's like shit.
Yeah.
Are you starting at 5 feet, or are you starting when you roll out for your takeoff?
I've tried to start at 5 feet. I've tried to start at 10 feet. I've tried to start at 15 feet. And for some reason, it always ends at 0 feet. I don't understand.
Oh, it's like my son, Matt. He does that. He starts at 5 feet and he just misinterprets how much space he needs to make the maneuver. He's all keen, but all too often he runs out of space. He's doing all the right things, but he just runs out of space. Whereas Otto's a lot better at anticipating his height and climbing and the maneuvers where he needs to. He can correct the maneuver halfway through to get a pull out. But
There's
it's all
a lot of stuff to keep track of in the middle of something as simple as a loop.
Well, yeah, Samantha says she yells at me, you know, get them up, get it up, get it up. And she says, you still fly it into the ground. And I'm like, I don't hear you saying nothing. So my ears must quit working. I lose where the ground's at.
You're in the zone, man.
But she said, she goes, they're nice round loops. But I don't like to make them flat on the bottom, I guess, to miss the ground. I don't know what the hell the deal is.
They shouldn't be flat on the bottom anyways.
Yeah, it would be nice though if I missed the ground.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, you'll get it. At least
I saw somebody flying. I saw somebody in Sparky's first video flying, and he must have been a intermediate, but his loops were long ovals like that.
Well, I tend to keep mine right in front of me, so I don't walk them like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But I walk them down.
I also saw while I was watching, because I'm starting to look at things from a judging perspective now, and because that's new to me. But I saw lots of intersections that were like this too, rather than straight up and down. But some of them were putting the intersections bang on every time, but they were X's rather than vertical.
Yeah, I was going to tell everybody too, if anyone needs a 440 blind nut, I have an extra one that we found in Samantha's motor when we got home from Brodak.
Oh,
where it came from? There ain't a 440 in that damn fuselage. The only thing I can think of is it got knocked off of something and it got knocked down into the fuselage.
Wow.
And I got hung up down there. And then when we took it down, we had it nose down in the back of the truck behind the seat. And it must have, the bumps and stuff like that must have knocked it out of wherever it was at. And it fell down and got stuck in the back of the motor. Well, we put it up at Brodak, and that thing squealed like a banshee for about 3 laps. Then it quietened it up, and she just flew it out and landed it. And you could turn it then, and it sounded like a bearing was out. And everybody's like, "Oh, you got another motor?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I didn't bring it." They said, "Why didn't you bring it?" I'm like, "It has 6 flights on it. I didn't think the motor would go out. A bearing would go out 6 flights." So we got all the way back home, and yesterday I took it out. When I pulled the motor out, I looked, and here's this damn blind nut just back in the back of the case on the winding.
Did it look like it was chewed up any?
No. So the only thing I can think of is that when the motor was, it changes, however it changes the power to each winding to make it turn.
Yeah.
That's what the noise we were hearing. It must have been vibrating that damn blind nut.
Boy, I'm glad it didn't get any deeper.
Yeah, I looked at it. I mean, it didn't harm a winding. It didn't harm the case. It was just kind of sitting in there. I just reached in with my fingers and just took it. It wasn't jammed or nothing. Just took it right out of there. More than likely, if I turned the airplane tail down and whacked it, it would have fell out.
Did Samantha fly her new plane?
Yeah, that was the only flight, and she didn't. She was doing her level laps when it started. And I had to do a couple loops and stuff like that. And it's like, you know what? It ain't worth losing an airplane. So she never flew it the rest of the week or the rest of the time we were there.
Did she have a backup?
So we got it back last night, though, when we flew it. And it flies well. So
did she have a backup plane to fly?
No. I was going to put one together, but it'll be a different style of take apart if I get it done.
Well, that sucks. She needed some stick time on that plane.
Yeah, she does. So we flew last night, and it rained here tonight. So hopefully tomorrow it'll be decent, and we'll go out tomorrow and fly it. But yeah, we got to change the handle a little bit. It's a little too touchy for with this other handle, but we'll slow it down. But if this doesn't do it, then I'm going to put a little nose weight in it. Because we can't move the battery. Pardon me?
What kind of handle is she using?
The Smith Brother handle. You ever seen? It's a carbon fiber.
Don't think I've seen that.
Is that what
That's the Paul Walker one?
Pardon me?
That the Paul Walker hard point?
It might be. I can go get it and show it to you real quick. Hold on. I'll run and get it.
Huh.
Hey, Jorge Gonzalez just checked in to see us. Good to see you, Jorge. Be nice if you could come in live with us.
Well, I did a thing yesterday.
You did a thing? What kind of thing is that?
I got the wing mounted.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the push rod for a flap horn. I can't get it close because of the laptop and everything. But I soldered a washer on the inside. That way, when I put the flap horn on it, call it on the other side, which I already got a little notch. I dremeled into it. That way, the set screw falls in it and holds it.
Okay. What's going on with your Nobler? How about your Nobler ARF? Did you finish that?
No, in fact, I got Tom Morris. I emailed him this morning. Emailed him directly instead of going through a Stunthangar Hobby about the control system and a a new set of 58 lines. I try to have it shipped out tomorrow. I'm still waiting on a price so I can pay him.
Oh, that's going to be weeks. You know that, right?
Huh?
Yeah, it takes weeks. Sometimes months.
What?
Can you see the handle?
No, it's
Oh,
okay, yeah. Oh, that is cool.
Is that what she was using when I saw her in Huntersville?
Yep.
Yeah,
Click on that. Yeah, I think that's that. I guess it's like a Paul Walker handle, I think.
Yeah, I don't know who makes it. I know who makes this. I don't know who made it originally. This is the Smith Brothers out of Florida. We got the ones that Randy sells, but they don't have the little part here, and the carbon fiber cuts into her hand. So I scabbed on some wood on that.
Oh, okay.
Handle.
That looks nice. Like that leopard pattern you have on there.
Oh, she's always picking out. The last one was pink leopard.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're going to let girls fly, you got to put up with stuff like that.
So is that with a Sharpie she decorated, or was it actually taped like that?
No, it's from Wilson. It's a wrap for tennis racket.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I use on my
Yeah,
handles.
me too. I get that blue stuff at Walmart. Wrap them up.
You put enough of it on there. You gotta like let me see. I got it right here. So like mine, I got a Tom Morris handle, and you put enough on there, and with the finger grooves, whatever, you put enough of it on there, and it's just comfortable. It's soft, you know.
Yeah, that's what it looks like too.
It fits in this thing, but I mean, it's comfortable.
Yeah, Samantha flies with her pinky and pointer finger. That's her main pressure.
Right.
Especially when she's doing her level laps to keep it.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I fly too. That's why
you'll see her grip and then do her maneuvers and stuff. But when she's always using to adjust her two fingers somehow, so we got to wrap it so she gets enough pressure on them fingers. How she likes it. So we're always screwing with the handle. So and then once I get it, we don't touch it.
Yeah, your handle is so crucial because if you have it right and you have to adjust it, you can miss your neutrals, miss your intersections, if you have to adjust your handle with your hands. I had a handle that didn't fit me right, and I kept moving it. It was hard for me to keep my intersections right. Because the handle didn't fit right.
Well, she says this way, because she flies out on her fingers that she uses most of her fingers when she's flying straight level, and then once that part's done, then she grips on the handle harder or whatever. So I don't know.
I keep dropping. I was losing.
You're letting up and gripping in, and
yeah, I fly mine with my fingertips too.
Yeah.
I mean, what I noticed with me flying, all the other maneuvers, I'll grip the hell out of it. But if I'm doing squares in my square eights, I'll fly fingertips. I feel like I have control with it on fingertips doing it.
You get quicker action with
heavy handing it.
You get quicker action with your fingertips than anything else.
Yeah, I don't think she even thinks about it now. It's just something she does. I can watch her out there, you know, with her hand just a little bit different, but you know, so. But I think that's why a heavier airplane hurts her hands.
Yeah,
she doesn't have it in her palm pulling out there on the fingertips all the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I use my fingertips on level flights also because, you know, your plane really can't go up more than a foot, you know.
Yeah. Well, she flies a fairly fast airplane. That's why she said it was a little too fast last night. But she flies a pretty touchy airplane. Other people flies their airplanes and they're like, "Oh man, is this thing touchy?" Except Derek Barry. He's like, "Man, this thing is slow."
Yeah.
We all like trim different levels and different rates, and it's where it's interesting flying somebody else's plane. I got those two models recently, those two Stunters. One was the heavily modified Twister, and the other one was that Pizzazz. And I flew the Pizzazz on Sunday, and it was awful. It was one of the worst models I'd flown, and yet it's on paper a very confident model. It was very light, had the well-proven LA-46, but there were so many things wrong with it, and just the whole control setup was terrible. And I got into pulling it apart already, and the first thing is the tank. The tank, I think they've got the venting all wrong, and the tank, the pickup's wrong. The plane, the iron-on covering started peeling off it in flight around the nose. The iron-on covering was peeling off.
Wow.
So I started stripping it off, but the big problem I had is I tried to adjust the flaps and broke the flap horn.
Oh, man.
I have to do some major surgery or MIG weld the bracket on so it bolts into the flap. That's what I'm thinking of doing right now, so I can get past that problem. But yeah, the way it handled it just didn't have the movement, the very limited elevator movement on it. It was not very comforting when you try to do a square. But somebody else's model trimmed very differently to the way I like them trimmed. But it's supposed to be like buying ready to fly. I suppose you set it up the way you want to fly it. Everybody's going to set it up differently.
Kind of like a pair of shoes, you know.
Yeah.
Not all shoes are going to make everybody happy, you know. Some people are not going to like those pairs of shoes. You got to get a pair of shoes that you're liking, you know.
Yeah.
Like Samantha doesn't like one-to-one. She likes more elevator in her airplanes. So
this thing was lacking line tension, and the outboard wing was up most of the flight. It had very little tip weight in it, I think. Now they got the overall weight down, but I prefer to fly with a bit more tip weight and have a little bit more feel up top. It's not nice when they're floating around. You can't pull the squares properly if you don't have the tension there to with the commands.
well, that was like with Derek Bear. I mean, with Chris Rudd. The first thing he really concentrated on was that tip weight. We had clay, you know, and he kept putting clay on the wingtip to get it right where he wanted. He was bringing it up 45 and down like that. And then once they got that, then he started doing him and Samantha started doing maneuvers. Then they started working the lead outs forward. You know, they actually went forward with them and got that part. And then we started working with the battery, moving it forward and doing the handle and stuff. But either I'm gonna have to see if I can get the battery just a little bit further forward, or I'm gonna have to put some nose weight in it, I think.
Yeah, it takes a lot of patience to get one trimmed out. Yeah. If you're aiming for perfection, it does anyway.
Yeah, because we got her spacing on the handle
Come on in.
We can, you know, we can go in a little bit more, but then we start getting closer than what our fingers are, and that's not a good. Narrower than your hand spacing is not good.
Yeah. Hey, Al.
Hey, Rusty. Hi, guys.
How's it going? Long time no see. We've been missing you.
Yeah, we've been busy working. It's the hours are hard. To stay up that late and go to work in the morning.
Did you get over to Brodak at all?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. I got a souvenir from Brodak.
Sure.
What you got?
Well,
Let me turn this on.
Click on you. We got some feedback going on back in the background.
What'd you do? You cut your arm?
yeah. Got 6 stitches.
Oh my gosh.
You move in.
I got
Quit flipping your you got to quit flipping that engine with your wrist.
Yeah, right.
Use your fingers.
Let me see, what was that? There's an error on your loading app. The app cannot load because it appears to be something I've gotten so wrong with it. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm having an issue.
Your YouTube page must be talking in the background.
It is, yeah. So how do I get rid of that?
Yeah, just hit the stop button on that video.
Hi, Tatiana.
Oh, I got you.
That'll keep
How are you doing tonight?
Just using your bandwidth up.
You enjoying your summer vacation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tatiana.
Hi.
But now you're on summer vacation, probably can't see your boyfriend at school.
No boyfriend, right?
Look at that grin on her face. Look at that now, yeah. She got them boys all after her. Just don't want Dad to know yet.
Not the stitches, Al. What happened?
They asked me to. It was in the 3rd round, and Henry Nelson needed a pit man. So I said, they asked me if I would help him. So I said, sure. He was having a problem getting his engine running. But, after a couple of minutes, I said, let's switch positions. Let me start it. And I got the engine running. And then, of course, he was flying, so we had to switch positions. And he sort of, I never worked with him. I do it hundreds of times with my guys, but sort of handed me the plane on a 45-degree angle. So when I went to grab the leading edge, the plane was coming at me on a 45-degree angle, and it caught me across the back of my wrist. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, so sorry to hear that.
Right. So did you and Mike go to the hospital together?
No, Mike's was a couple days earlier. Mine was during the match.
Oh, okay. I thought that's when he did his too.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, he did his earlier in just practice flying.
Oh.
There's a serious blood vein right under there, too. I bet that bled like a son of a bitch, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it missed the vein. I was lucky. Yeah, it bled out pretty good. Some ladies were going, yelling, "Oh my God!" But so here I'm, the engine's running. I'm holding it. I felt it hit, and I'm saying, "Oh, I hope." I felt it hit, and it didn't feel that bad. But I looked at it and I said, "Ooh, that looks pretty bad," And so then I passed the plane off to the CD Roy Glenn. Then I gave him the plane, and then my friend Jim looked at it and he said, "We got to go to you got to get stitches."
Is there a hospital right there in Carmichael, or did you have to go to Uniontown, or?
Well, I know Uniontown because we've been going to Brodak for a few years, and so we went there. They said there was a place there. It was called Medic Express or something.
Oh yeah, that's where I took Samantha last year when she had bronchitis or whatever.
Yeah, they were fantastic. I mean, they were all said and done. I saw about 6 different people. Between registering and one person came in and cleaned out the wound real good, and then next person came in and stitched me up. and the next person came in and gave me, put the dressing on it. But it doesn't really hurt. Doesn't, my fingers, everything's working. So it's
Right.
I was lucky. So it's just.
So the last person come in gave you the pain pills?
Well, they didn't give me any pain pills. They just said, take. They gave me a prescription if I needed it, but I didn't take it. Well, no, the last person gave me the bill.
Yeah.
I had to, I couldn't sign my name when I went in there, but on the way out,
Wow.
Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
No, you're
I'm getting nothing but black on my end. So
right. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here too. I thought it was me, but yeah, I see Charles perfect.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with everything tonight. Thought it was on my end, but I think it's everywhere.
Now Gerald is black, but I can see. Or actually, he's enlarged. That's why.
No, you're back now.
Yeah, I can see everybody but myself.
I can't see you're enlarged. When you're talking, you go away. But
My whole screen goes black when I talk.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the same thing here. When you talk, your screen goes dark. Yeah. But
What are you building out, Jamie? You're always building something.
No, I'm working on my twister.
Oh, okay.
Doing
oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm putting a dowel in the tail. Putting a wooden dowel in there. Going to pre-drill it for the little tail wheel wire, and then I notched it out, and then going to CA that back on top of it so it don't wobble and all that other good stuff from landings.
Very good.
Yeah.
I was to say I had a combat match against Sam.
What's that?
I said I had they put me up against Sam, Mike's son, in the first.
Sam Weinke.
Oh, did you?
How did you do?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, he's doing good. He's basically does loops and flies around level. But yeah, he actually won. The whole thing. But yeah, they couldn't get his engine running. So it was the first match. So I told Roy, I said, Roy, go ahead and give him a refly. I didn't want him to, go away having his first match, sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Oh, yeah, he had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He actually won, and he was overjoyed. With the whole thing. Yeah.
Al, I have a question for you, Al.
Yeah.
You said Henry Nelson. Is that the same? Who makes the Nelson engines?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the same guy who makes the Nelson engines, and he was making the parts for the PA engines. And
okay. Now, what motor he couldn't get started? Was it one of his own, or?
Yeah, it was a 15. It was one of his 15. Yeah, in Speed Limit Combat, he uses a 15 with a 7.3 APC prop, and it's spinning probably 23,000 RPMs in that range. It's really runs pretty hard, and he runs a rear Venturi, sort of like the old racing planes, the rear feed and rear Venturi.
I've seen those
off the back plate, and it has the engine sitting upright, and I guess and it's on a bladder, and it just loaded up the crankcase. So when you're running a gun, on the clock. It wasn't started, it wasn't starting, so. But
just to go to show you, we all have bad days, even when you make the engine.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's for sure. But it's it worked out great for me, with getting the cut and they cleaned it out and stitched it there. I tell you, the gal there that stitched me up, she did a great job. I mean, I asked her if I could bring my racing planes there so she could sew the elevators on for me.
Here comes Sparky. Hey, Sparky.
Hey, Sparky.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you back home, huh?
Yeah. Gotta build me a fuselage.
Right, you've got some nice videos there. That was great. Not as good as being there, but second best. Thanks, Sparky.
Well, I got a bunch a bunch more video, probably another at least 20 hours of editing.
I like the way your, I don't know what you call it, but the little gimbal that the camera sits on that stabilizes it when you walk. That thing works great.
Yeah, it worked great. When he's walking around, it was really nice.
Yeah, I thought I couldn't figure out that he was walking even, you know, it was so smooth. So, and then I realized.
I have a harness that I wear, and the camera is right here on my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did some good videos there.
I
don't
just
know.
started watching
When you watch the video. I know when it's a live stream, you can donate money.
Yeah.
You know, I gave it to you when I was there, but I don't know if on the regular ones, if they can kick in any money for you for all the time, and if they knew how much time and stuff you spent there getting the videos. And then
Yeah, it was only a week.
yeah, but I mean, how much time during the day when you're doing that, in between that and flying and everything else? You know, you're not getting much time to really enjoy it. It's like
how many flights I had there?
Pardon me?
You know how many flights I had there?
Probably the 2 is all.
That's it. 2 flights.
I watched one of them today.
Yeah, I was like, I told everybody, you know, and then that first flight that you got the video on, I told them that they made you fly 90 degrees to the wind to give everybody else a chance, I guess.
Into the wind. I was flying into the wind.
Yeah, I know. And it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, I saw the wind beating it around on one of your vertical climbs. It was obvious that there was a wind problem.
One thing about it, though, after he flew, then the judges moved to the right place anyway.
Oh, damn. Hey, T-Bone, Tom Luciano, bummed about missing Brodak. Oh, well, yeah, everybody that didn't get there is. I didn't make it either. But welcome to the YouTube side, Tom.
Yeah, we got there.
2 points away from Joe Gilbert and 16 points away from Chris Rudd. I have 8 flights for the year. Not too bad.
No,
not too bad.
Yeah, it was. You flew good. The airplane really flew good. I mean, power to weight. Like I was telling you there, if that had been a heavier airplane, it would not have. You couldn't have flown that pattern in the direction of the wind that they were having you fly in.
Light is right.
So what are you building the fuselage for?
Another one of those, only with a PA-75.
Oh, you can build another Junar?
It's just Junar in name. It's all my numbers.
Oh, okay.
I learned something about stunt when I was there. I was talking to Joe, and I was wondering why he was flying his plane that he was going to use in competition so fast. He was like trying at 4.7 and a 4.9, and then he said, FAI, you guys only have 7 minutes to complete the flight.
Yeah.
So you want like a 4.9 lap time or a 5.0 or something like that.
Yeah, you got to be able to crank that thing on the first start, get out there, get the handle, and go.
Yeah. So that's. I didn't know that. I thought that everybody's usually after a 5.1 or a 5.2, and I couldn't understand why he's ripping around so fast.
Well, you can do it at 5.4 because even at a 5.4, you're still finishing the thing in under a little over 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Samantha's, we're flying at 5.3, and we're gonna give her more time, but we're flying it at 5 minutes, and she can get everything in. But I mean, you got to be right on it. So,
right.
If your plane starts right away and you walk out to the circle, you take another half a minute. So there's 5.5, or if we usually do 5, that's 6. But you should have, it's just if you get a lean run, it's not hard to go over by a minute.
Right,
yeah.
right.
You're cutting on the clover leaf where you're running out of fuel. That's my experience anyway. I seem to be doing the other.
Because I noticed, I had a plane that was tight, it was very close on fuel. And then if I would start it and then I start messing around with the needle and walk out the handle, I was taking a minute just to do that, you know. So then, you know, after I watched the video, so then it was like, if the needle's not, I would have to start it up, make sure the needle was set out, slit right, and run out to the handle.
What airplane did you have there, Brodak?
That I flew in competition. I had a Gieske Nobler with a Brodak 40 on it.
What color was it? Red?
No, it was orange and cream colored. Oh, you saw it. Remember, you said asked it how it ran with the header on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's the one I just run a header. I don't run a muffler. A header and a 90-degree elbow.
Here's my muffler.
Yeah.
Show him. Turn the muffler towards him and show that header muffler. It's oval. It isn't round.
Oh, that is nice.
That's that new one that Kaz makes.
Let me see. How do you? Oh, so that's a KZ. That's one of those.
No,
No, this is a PA.
Oh,
yeah, but Kaz's muffler will fit right on there.
okay.
$5. But
So that's what I saw Joe Gilbert's running the Kaz. Is that what you running also, Steve? In Samantha's?
Samantha's electric.
Oh, that's electric. Okay.
Yeah. Joe Gilbert, he's running a pipe though, I think. He's running the full pipe.
Right.
And he's running the K-77.
Okay.
Because his airplane got lost. So Kaz brought him that airplane.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yeah, he brought him his airplane, changed the numbers on it, put his name on it, USA on it.
Wow.
And brought him his airplane, his motor, header, whatever.
Okay, so
when you have money.
his plane got lost in the mail?
Yeah, they still haven't found it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, in FIA, they don't have appearance points. Is that right?
Right.
No builder, the model rule, no appearance points, and a shorter runtime. Yeah.
Well, they said Samantha heard from Rylan Rich, and they said FAI is going to 21 for junior again.
Oh, really?
So the next rule thing, they're going to move it back to 21. So I don't know if AMA is going to follow suit or not.
Nope. Been 16, 18 for as long as it's been in existence.
Now, Dennis Adamission was the last one to win the Walker Cup as a junior, and he was 21 years old.
As a junior, 21. No.
Well, they call it junior there. We call it junior senior. But he wanted it. He won the Walker Cup at 21 years old as a senior.
Spread up to 21 would make it hard for those that are under 15 or something. Would make it very hard for those that are real juniors. But I suppose it's where the basic flight would come in. Maybe they could fit in with. I noticed at Brodak they had another class for basic flight, basic stunt or whatever, and it was open to women and juniors only.
Yeah.
Maybe intent people that are younger.
Well, that's what I said. You know, with the way the AMA is that it's ridiculous to fly off for the Walker Cup for the junior senior. There's never no way in hell they'll ever win again. They can't get good enough fast enough. By the time they're finally getting proficient, then they move up to open. So, I mean, it's just a deal to where, you know, Samantha always did it, but it was senseless. I mean, when the open guy, you know, every time she's flew against Walker or David Fitzgerald, I mean, they beat her by 100 points, 125 points.
So that goes by score?
Yeah.
Full score?
Yep.
Because I know here, I don't know what they call it, but one of the contests that I went to, they have a fly off between all the classes, all the winner of the classes, and shows by how much you improved your score. And the one that improved their score the most over their winning flights is the winner of the trophy.
Oh, okay.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So so that makes it kind of even.
Right.
And then probably the person that's in the lower, like an intermediate, might have a better chance of winning because they can fly better. Usually, like
it's the same thing there in basically at the World Championships, is that if the junior outscores anybody in the open, they can win the overall thing.
Right.
They can become the champion. But it's never happened. Closest is fourth, but still didn't beat Paul Walker. I don't care how good these Chinese or Russians or whatever. They never, none of them's ever beat Walker or Fitzgerald or Billy or any of them. They can be a phenom, but at 18, they still aren't good enough.
Pull the water out and add and then replace the water again.
But if Samantha has her airplane and she wants to fly, it looks like she'll get to try out for the team again 2 more times.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
And she'd be 19 and then 21, so she'd fall in right where she'd have to be.
Yeah. Senior in New Zealand used to be 16. Imagine how hard that would be.
Oh, I know.
Senior cutoff at 16 is really quite low, especially when you look at how schooling and all works now. They're still juniors till they're 25 now.
Hey, Rusty, they might have something that will interest you next year. They're talking about having half a stunt at Rodak on
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I've been toying with switching to half A for a while I'm trying to work myself back into flying. So I'll have to practice up.
You'd have to have a pretty damn big tank.
3/4 of an ounce. I don't know. 3/4 of an ounce ought to get you enough time on a TD 09, or even
over 500.
You're allowed up to a 61. They're going to let you have a 61.
61, that's good.
And takeoff is optional. It can be hand launched.
That's good. I'm glad to see a 61 because you can fly a heavier plane with that and be, a little bit more stable. That sounds like fun.
I asked him, I said, is landing gear, do you have to have a gear on it? And then everybody's saying, well, what are you going to use, a combat plane? I said, well, a little hacker would be nice.
Yeah. Or, something like a baby Flight Street would be great for a stunt plane.
Has anyone tried that little half A Pathfinder?
I actually have one. My friend has one. It flies really nice, but he never got a nice engine run out of it.
We have one of them because we were going to build that for Samantha, and then she outgrew stuff so fast that we never even built it.
Yeah, my friend had built one. He passed away a few years ago, but it flew, it glided, and did loops real nice. But he always had tank issues with it, and I never. That's something I might be able to. If maybe I can take the gear off it and.
So, are you going to have this, Sparky? You going to have that done by the Nats? Is that your plan?
I'm judging at the Nats.
Oh, okay.
No, this is next year's airplane. I didn't get an airplane done for this year. I've been working.
I was going to say, as good as the other one flies, I really don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Power.
Oh, there's just not enough power?
No, there's enough power, but I want more power.
Okay.
I want to be able to do maneuvers into the wind. Anytime.
Obviously, you need to be able to do that, huh?
Yeah.
What is it? What does a Super Tiger weigh?
I think they're 12 ounces.
Oh, so it's about the same then as that 75 then.
This is a ½ ounce heavier. But it's got a bigger bore and stroke and more power, swing a bigger prop.
A lot bigger prop, yeah.
And this motor here would go in my other airplane, but then I'd have to dick around fit and shit.
You have enough of tank capacity to run that engine, Sparky?
Who would pay $100 for a gas tank while you're looking at them? Yeah, I got enough. Casminato was making me a carbon fiber tank.
Oh, wow.
Now, did you buy one of them carbon fiber weight boxes or whatever they were talking about?
Now, why would you buy a carbon fiber weight box?
That's right. Everyone was talking about that. I was like, why would you when you want weight out there? Why would you need
No.
weight box?
Was that just a joke or was it for real?
I have no clue.
That was probably a joke.
Right. Yeah. Plywood weight box is perfectly fine, isn't it?
Yeah. 7 ply weight box would be fine.
Yeah.
This is an expensive setup. We got $50 on the spinner, which you can't buy no more. The Medusa spinner. $50 on the propeller, so that's $100. You got $30 on the extension, so that's $130. You got $5 on the air filter, $135. You got $80 on the muffler, $135 each. It's $215 plus a $500 engine.
Yeah.
Ready for the performance there?
That's ridiculous.
Well, that was like I bought that spinner and everything from True Turn. You know, it's that has the fan in the back and all that fancy shit. $72 or $78 for shipping, whatever it was. I get it here, and the damn adapter doesn't fit the motor. So luckily, for some reason, I said, I don't know if the prop that I bought from Igor is 6mm or 8, and it's made you can do either. But so I bought both setups. If I hadn't bought both setups, the damn thing wouldn't even have worked on the airplane.
Here's my turbulator. See the back plate there?
Yeah.
That's what you got, turbulator. And I made the spinners to fit. I made them. Light.
Oh, yeah.
They're made out of
Plastic.
Would you print them out or?
No, go back in my videos, you'll see. I was making landing gear and spinners and wheel pants and all kind of shit.
Yeah, I remember your wheel pants and everything and your landing gear, carbon fiber landing gear, but I didn't know that you made the spinner.
I made spinners because you can't buy these unobtainium jobs here.
Is that plastic there too or not?
This is carbon fiber.
Oh, okay.
Same that's on my other airplane. I got 3 of them. I got this one. I got one on the Junar, one here, and then one more.
I got a older oh shit.
I'll be right back.
I can't think of the damn name of the motor now. What's the one you fly in your airplane? A Stalker.
Super Tiger 60.
Well, I got a Stalker 61, and it came with a carbon fiber spinner that's made it slips over the bearing hub or whatever you want to
Drive washer.
Yeah. I'll go. That is the slickest deal I've ever seen in my life. How nice that fits. And I never used it because I never put it on an airplane or anything, but I got the whole setup for $125, so I couldn't bitch. But I actually started it on the bench. It seems to run okay on the bench, but it's never been in an airplane.
Is that a rear exhaust Stalker 61 or side exhaust?
Yep.
That sounds nice.
It's the 2.4 brake one, And then he bought an extra head for the 4-4 brake head. And I don't know how well that'll work because there's different port timings or whatever for the 4-4 over the 2-4. So I don't know what that lower compression head will do. But they have fairly low compression. No, they have high compression, don't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you can get away with FAI fuel on them. Maybe that's why they did the other head, so you can run nitro in it. But I haven't tried it on anything.
Did anybody use the MVVS 77? I've seen those come up on eBay, and they look a nice light motor. I don't think they make them anymore, but I've seen them come up a few times. The MVVS 77. It looks like it's based on a 60 case.
I had an MVVS 49. It's all right.
Well, the old MVVS 60 pattern motor was one hell of a motor, and they quit making that. And then because that was pipe time and everything, I heard they went to the 77. It's the 60 that you can run on a muffler. It's kind of like Enya did with their 80.
Yeah,
that's the 60 case, and I mean, on a muffler, that thing will turn a propeller. My brother has one. What a 60 will on a pipe.
It might be a good stunt motor.
It's way too heavy, though. It weighs 17 ounces, I think.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a boating motor.
An OPS there. They're pretty good.
What's that?
OPS.
Yeah, OPS 40, that weighs what, about 12 ounces?
Yeah.
That's just the 40. The 60 weighs about 16, 17 ounces, somewhere in there once you get the muffler and everything on it. But yeah, basically the PA, you know, the jet, that's a 40 case with 75 in a 40 case.
This is not. This is a 60 case. The 61s and the 65s were a 40 case.
Oh, okay.
This is Super Tiger 60 has the same bolt pattern as this. Fit right in.
What prop are you running on your PA, Sparky?
Handmade Bob McDonald prop. On this, you mean? On
yeah.
Yeah, it's a handmade Bob McDonald prop.
Is that one of his under cambers?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
$50.
What does under camber mean?
Go ahead.
Back side of the prop has a big scoop in it, so it scoops the air.
Yeah.
I kept calling them hollow ground. Everybody's like, they're not hollow ground, they're under camber.
What size will it be that you're running, Sparky?
That prop there is 13.5, 4.5.
Okay.
I saw on Joe Gilbert's when he was flying his one with the big engine in it. When that thing was leaning out at the end, that engine was putting out some horsepower. That thing was moving. The last like 2 to 3 laps, that thing leaned out and was really hauling them out.
When you got to reach up and put 2 hands on the handle.
I had this motor in my Thunderbolt. I had 3 Thunderbolts, and I had this motor in the Thunderbolt. I got one of them around here, but I was swinging a 15.5 propeller. Talk about thrush. Boy, oh boy, you got a disc that big around.
So, was that a flatback though, or was that the hollow?
That was a Bali that I was using. Here's a here's a 2-blade unfinished for 75. I gotta balance it and cut the flashing off.
Yeah, I put. God, I can't think of the name of the guy. He was from the New Jersey area or whatever.
Wendy?
No, he built props for Wendy.
Well, it's not from New Jersey, but Steve Wilk made props.
Yeah, it's not Steve Wilkes. It was, oh God, I can't think of. They told me what his name was, and got it from.
And there's the other guy, Bob Whitney in Florida, is making props.
Yeah, Bob's making props.
This is a 14-inch prop. Carbon.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, Walt Gifford.
Was it Walt Gifford?
Yeah, the guy from South Jersey. I mean, he makes props from mostly for racing.
Well, this was a pattern prop, and we got it from shit. God, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I don't know of anybody that makes props, you know, here. The only guy that makes props around here that I know of is Walt Gifford, Motorman on the forum.
Oh no, this was a long time ago. This was back when I can't think of his name. He had the Stukas out there.
Oh, Jacobone?
Yeah, Jacobone.
Oh, okay.
I got the props from him. I got the Boley and something, and this really super nice one. Looks like an Igor prop with the weaving on it or whatever, but it was under camber. And talk about something that'll pull down a motor that really bites. The damn Enya 61 didn't have enough balls to turn that prop. It would just get hotter than hell and lean out with it. We couldn't.
That is probably this prop, same mold as this prop right here.
That's probably a windy prop.
Hold it up higher, Sparky.
Yeah, Jacobone was with windy all the time.
The mold for this came from Australia. What the hell was that guy's name?
Super cool.
No. The guy in Australia that made props.
Yeah, super cool.
No, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what Rich said the guy's name was either. But I mean, it was a hell of a prop. But they were putting it on the Rojet 76s. But I thought that the 61 would be able to turn it. It just didn't have enough oomph.
So how do you decide to choose between pitch and under camber? I mean, what's the difference?
I think what you can use an under camber, you can use less diameter and still get the,
Okay.
Brian Ether, the guy?
Ether
Brian.
prop.
Yeah, Brian Ether.
Brian Ether, yep. This is a Brian Ether copy right here.
Oh, he was from Australia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was from New Jersey. I know that's where they were getting all their props from. So.
No, Doran made props for Windy. He was here in the States.
Oh, okay.
When you see the prop mold where Windy's making props, that's Doran's mold.
But I know with Igor's props, we're flying that 11 3-blade 5-pitch, and it will draw actually more amps than the 12.5 3-blade flat back propeller.
You ever get your motor straightened out?
Yeah, I told him if anyone needs a 440 blind nut, let me know because I have an extra one. There's not a 440 blind nut in that whole fuselage. Where it came from, I have no idea. It must have got knocked off a bench or bounced on the ground and bounced inside that airplane. And when we brought it down and we had it on its nose all the way down behind the front seat of my truck in the back, that wherever it was hung up in there must have bounced down and fell in the back of the motor.
And magnets are real strong.
And the only thing was I reached in there and pulled the damn thing out with my fingers. It wasn't hooked, but it must have been just enough in there. And the only thing I can think of, did you hear that whine, that squeal that it made?
Yeah.
Only thing I can think of, it was a vibration of that thing changing poles or whatever that was vibrating that damn nut, because it wasn't caught in anything, and there was no place it could rub.
Hey, Mike Lonke just joined us. Hey, Mike.
All
Congratulations. You flew a pair of 500 plus flights in the profile at Brodak. I saw the scoreboards. You and Chris both.
Hang on, I just woke up.
Okay. We'll give you a minute.
But yeah, we flew it last night, Sparky. If it was fine. I looked in there. There was not a mark on that blind nut. I couldn't find a mark inside that motor, and it was just laying up there on the windings and behind one of the little bars, just part way, just kind of balanced. I just picked it off and.
I'll make a suggestion, just for the hell of it. Change to your other motor. Take that one apart and completely inspect it, because you'll get there and plug it in and start to fly, and it'll take a shit.
Yeah.
Told you, Chris Rudd put it in there for balance.
What's that?
Chris Rudd stuck it in there for balance.
Put it in there for balance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea where the damn thing, because Chris was like, was it a 220 or 256? And I'm like, no, it was a 440. Because that's the first thing I thought. I said, there ain't a 440 in that damn fuselage. There's only two of them in the wing, you know. But I just can't imagine all the sand and everything, that if that got in there way back in the beginning of the build, how it stuck in there, never fell out until 400 and some miles in the back seat of my truck, or in the back of the truck.
It was stuck between something and finally vibrated loose.
I think by it pointing nose down, you know, because I got that back seat in my truck, I just fold up. We put the airplane in there and then put a blanket around it, and it rode down there because all of our luggage and everything was in the back. Well, the only thing I can think of is that by it being nose down, and the damn Ohio roads now are worse than Michigan's.
Yes, they are.
It bounced that out wherever it was caught, and it dropped all the way to the front, and the magnet pulled it into the back of that motor. So, but yeah, I never thought that I could say that there was any state with worse roads than Michigan.
It's Ohio.
Oh my God!
I've driven through there twice in the last 3 months. Terrible. What's up, everybody? I'm awake now.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Show them your finger, Mike. We're telling everybody about it.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's
Let me see that. Hang on.
there's the finger. There.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you two went to the hospital together, but he said that he waited a couple days after you went.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Starting to
Yeah.
It got away from, well, it didn't get away from me. I stuck my hand through the prop trying to grab the wing. I was starting it by myself between my legs for Sam, and I didn't have my glove on. I got used to wearing the rubber finger all week because I was starting stunt planes with wooden props. Oh, there's Al. Yeah, Al got his.
I got cut by a Nelson.
Yeah, you did get cut by a Nelson. That's
I
right.
told Al he needs to start using his fingers to prop them airplanes and not his wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, we were both pretty fortunate. Wasn't worse for either of us. So, other than that, it was a pretty good week. It was a great week, as a matter of fact. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys left with a lot of hardware.
Yeah, we did quite a
Hey,
bit.
what is that take apart ringmaster like? I didn't get to see it.
Hang on a second. It's here. Let me figure out how to turn my camera around. Where is that damn button? There we go. Oh, can you see?
It's frozen and blurry right now. Hang on, let me click on you.
Something's going on with my phone for some reason.
there we go.
got it.
It's blacking in and out.
Yeah, well, we've been having a problem with things blacking out tonight, too. It's gotten better now.
All right, let me see if
We
I
see
can
it.
do If I'll do it this way, it seems to stay if I keep my phone this way.
Oh, that's pretty, Mike.
There
So
it
what
is.
is it?
Pretty.
How does that come apart? Whether there are screws through the bottom of it that holds the wing up in there?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Hey, Rusty, can you turn up Mike's volume, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a 3mm bolt right there, a 3mm bolt right there, and you can see the brake in front of the here on the crutch, and then there's a brake there on the fuselage.
Wow.
And 2mm bolts there to take the elevator off. The rudder stays attached. And of course, you can take the gear off and the tank. I watched him put this thing together when he got there on Sunday. He had an LA-25 on it. And this is Japanese tissue on the wing with dope. It's super, super light. Oh, also, there's a threaded push rod there that comes apart as well. And then this little piece of, he got some hanger rash on it in Kaz's car, or in their van. I guess they were transporting it. He cracked it. I don't know what this is that he put on there. It's some kind of, it feels like gauze that he put CA on. He just did a field repair to it.
Oh, okay.
That may be why he gave it away, because it's not, it's got a little blemish on there now. And it had just a little bit of hanger rash on the elevator there.
Yeah,
it fell in the van is what happened when they were transporting. But, I mean, it is, and this is paint. He airbrushed this.
That's nice.
That's airbrushed. The canopy is airbrushed as well. And he built this tank. And I'll see if I can get a shot of it. But notice how it's wider at the back than it is at the front. He handled the tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this thing purred like a kitten, man. It flew great. It flew as good as any one of Joe Gilbert's ringmasters, for sure. We were just doing our last flights on Saturday, and he was flying on the same circles as we were. He came over and he said, "I want to give airplane to son." And I wasn't quite sure what he was saying because he speaks real broken English, but he came back after he'd taken the motor off and handed Sam the airplane. So I guess we figured it out. It was a gift.
Yeah.
So
that's a nice gift.
Yeah. A couple other goodies we scored. There was a gentleman who showed up and he had a bunch of stuff for sale. And this is a Sterling biplane.
Oh, yeah.
What? Anybody know the name of that? I forget it. If you say it, I'll know.
Great Lakes.
Looks like a Buckmeister or whatever it's called.
That's the Great Lakes one, I'm sure.
It's a Sterling kit.
Is it the flying? They had made a flying fool.
No,
that was
not the fool.
I mean, they did, but that's not it.
No, not the Buckmeister either.
Not the Waco, right?
It's not the Waco. Anyway, it's about a 25 sized airplane. It's never been flown. It's never had an engine in it. The leadouts aren't even crimped on the end.
It's a Great Lakes trainer, I bet.
Great Lakes trainer.
I'm no winner.
Yeah, all right.
That's what it is. Great Lakes trainer.
Thanks for the
Thanks, Gerald.
You're the winner. Take a bow.
This airplane was $10.
Wow.
It was $10. And next to that one, the guy had the Sterling P-51, which had lightning holes in it, and he had a free tag on this.
Wow.
This one was free. So Sam, we bought one, got one free. This is a pretty well built Mustang. It's just ready to cover, and that'll be another one for Sam to mess around with. But the Great Lakes trainer, I think I'm going to put electric motor with an ESC in it and use it as a throttle plane for Sam to just fart around with in the backyard. So that'll you can see I haven't put anything away yet. We got shit everywhere still. There's our Junkyard Wars entry. Let's see. That's what's left of our junkyard wars.
So did anyone film you hitting that skid?
Hitting the wall with the combat plane?
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Davis got it. It's posted on Control Line Flying.
I got it. It'll be in my movie when I get it made.
Oh, okay.
We did it Facebook Live, so it's on there. All it did to that thing was break a prop. What did I do with that airplane? Where is it? There, I got it right here. So I took this combat wing and I flew it into a pallet that had pallets up in between the balloon bust as walls. I flew that thing at 75 miles an hour right into a pallet, wooden pallet, and all it did was break the prop.
Those planes are so tough.
Yeah. Split the covering on the bottom, but other than that, everything was fine. And then the only other screw-ups we had, Sam crashed his Barnstormer, broke the tail off of that, which is the orange one right there. And then we gave away an airplane like this one, a rugged stunt trainer with an engine. Sam gave one of those to the young man that we taught to fly while we were there this week. I don't know if any of you guys were following any of that on Facebook or not, but this 8-year-old kid and his family came out every day starting Sunday. And I got him soloed on his second day. And
wow, it's pretty good.
He flew every day all week long, entered basic flight and won basic flight.
Wow.
And then at the awards ceremony, when he got his trophy, Sam handed him a ready-to-go rugged stunt trainer with a K&B 28 on it. We actually took Sam's name and number off the airplane because we got the kid an AMA number that week while we were there. We got him a junior membership, and then we put his name and AMA number on the plane, and Sam presented it to him at the awards ceremony.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Sam gave away a plane and got a plane. I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It was a great week. We had a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the weather was great too.
It was. We only had just one
Monday.
Rain on Monday for
Monday morning.
Wow, yeah. But even still, and we got. I put up a bunch of flights on the Pulse Jet. We did. I don't know how many during the week. I probably got 11 or 12 flights during the week on the Pulse Jet. So that was a lot of fun as well. I seem to have my fuel mix figured out, and my crew was excellent. I was getting one or two pump starts, and we found a sweet spot on the circle, and we were getting it in the air pretty easily. So that was a lot of fun as well. And yeah, let's see what else. That's about it. Got home late Saturday, slept all day Sunday, and then I went to go fly my powered paraglider last night, and I had a freaking engine out and emergency landing from 600 feet and landed in a fucking bean field somewhere.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I either seized a crank bearing or I launched a piston. I'm not sure yet. I haven't started tearing it down to see what's going on, but that prop and the motor is frozen solid. I was up flying with another guy. I was just getting ready to start rolling video, and it just quit. And then I tried to restart. I couldn't get a restart, so I put the camera away real quick and started looking for a place to land. And I was next to a highway. There was a freshly plowed bean field with an access road going through it, so I just put it down on the road next to a gate and landed no problem. And then my buddy saw that I was down, and he come over with the truck and picked me up. It was no big deal. It was just an off airport landing with no power. So, but
yeah,
now I got to deal with that. I'm going to have to throw money at that time, which I don't have because we're getting ready to go to the Nats in a few weeks. So,
and I know.
Hey, Sparky.
Good night.
See ya.
They,
Yeah, you just went.
Yeah, a kid I went to school with, his dad was a United airline pilot, and they're at, I don't know, some small field where he had a Cessna or whatever, and somebody had one of them glider, you know, with the wing up there like that, and guy asked him if he wanted to fly it and stuff, and he said yeah. He took off, and the motor seized up right after he got off the ground and ended up crashing into the trees at the end of the runway, broke his back. He never walked again.
Wow.
well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I got a lot of experience landing parachutes, skydiving, but there's the rig right there. That's why I fly.
Hold on a second.
It's called the Sky Cruiser Quad. And come around here. That's the engine on it. And that prop is stuck solid. I mean, it ain't moving. I can move it just because the pulley will slip. But the crank is stuck. So it's either a crank bearing in here to let go, or the piston is launched on the jug. I just don't have time. I don't think it's going to cost a lot of money. Even if it is a piston or a bearing, it's not the money. It's just the time of tearing it all down and getting it put back together.
Oh, you put the poison out?
What size prop is that?
That's a 52-inch prop.
That's a big piece of lumber.
Yeah, it's about $230 when you break one. And you do break them.
That's a 2-cycle or a 4-cycle?
It's a 2-stroke.
2-stroke?
It's a single cylinder, 28 horse. Simonini is the name brand of it. It's a German engine. They make most of the motors for powered paragliding. So I've been considering, well, we'll see how much it's going to cost to fix it. But there are guys using 4-cycle Honda engines on these things. There's a guy out of Minnesota that actually takes just a Honda lawnmower engine, a big one for the riding mowers. It's like an 18 horse. And then he manufactures and machines all the parts for the reduction drive and the pulleys and the prop hub and all that stuff for about $2,000. So I may convert it to a 4-stroke if this is going to cost me a shit ton of money. Because a brand new engine for this will be about $3,500.
Wow.
But as long as I can get away with just replacing a few parts in it, I'll keep running it, or I may switch it over to a 4-stroke. I don't know. We'll see. It's always how much money it costs, you know.
How many hours do you have on that motor?
Oh, there's probably about 300 hours on it, somewhere in there.
And how long should it last?
Well, I mean, I just changed all the bearings in it this year. I had it apart this year and changed the bearings, so that's why I don't think it's a bearing. I think I lost a ring on one of the rings on a piston, and that's what seized it up. Or connecting rod may have broke. You know, I don't know. Won't know till I get in there and tear it down, which ain't happening anytime soon.
Has it got an oil pump in it, or is it just got a...
It's a mix. It's a 2-stroke mix.
Yeah.
And I actually run it on the rich side just for that reason. You know, I don't run it lean or anything like that. I run it rich with a lot of oil, just so I fall out plugs a lot. I go through a lot of plugs, but I'd rather do that than run it lean. So that was my big excitement last night.
It's exciting, I imagine.
Yeah, it was. But like I said, it wasn't. I was a skydiver for over 17 years. I did tandems for over 10 years. And I can't count the number of times I've landed off the airport and had to land in a field or, you know, on the side of the highway or something like that. So landing one of these with no power is the same thing as landing a tandem parachute. It didn't. My heart rate barely went up. I was more pissed off than anything. You know, wasn't scared because I knew I had a good out. I was right over the middle of this field when I quit. So that's why I'm always careful. I never fly below 1,000 feet if I'm not in an area where I don't have a good out. I don't fly over the forest, I guess you would say, or the woods or whatever, large chunks of woods or mountains or anything like that. I stay away from that stuff till I'm higher and I know I can get away from it if I have a problem. And it paid off, you know?
Yeah.
So, I guess you always go up with somebody knowing what you're doing, where you're going.
Not really.
Really?
A lot of times I go out there and fly by myself, and I happen to have a buddy out there. My wife always knows when I go, and she knows about when I should land.
Yeah.
And I always just leave a note on the truck telling them who I am, and I leave my keys on the dash at the airport.
Yeah.
So but they know, you know, if it's a half hour past sunset and we're not back, they're gonna send somebody out looking for us. So I always carry a cell phone. They come in handy.
That's one. Isn't that the same thing that guy landed at the White House that time, a year or so back, a couple of years back?
I think it was a powered paraglider. The famous one I know is that the same guy that flew into the Tyson fight and landed one. Mm-hmm. He's also the guy that landed one and got it stuck on a torch of the Statue of Liberty. You remember that guy in New York? He flew one up there and got the canopy hung up on the torch. So, except mine has wheels on it. I added a cart to mine 2 years ago. I was foot launching for about 6 years. Mm-hmm. I got tired of running with 100 pounds on my back, so I added the quad cart to it 2 years ago. Maybe time for a new machine. I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually a little jealous. The guy I was flying with, he was testing out. It was only his third flight. He just got a 2-seat tandem rig, so he's got another seat up in front of him where he can take passengers and stuff. And that was kind of my goal all along, is I wanted to be able to take my kids up, take the wife up, stuff like that. But we'll see.
Yeah. I stay on the ground. I stay away from going in the air or on the water, because I tend to blow things up, blow engines up. So I figure I'm better off staying on the ground.
So what's everybody working on? How you been, Rusty?
I'm okay. I'm impatient more than anything. I'm still not able to get out and fly, but I'm thinking maybe I try some half-A stuff instead of trying to fly the stunt ships, and I can do that across the street from the house too. So that saves a lot of trouble. But we're going to the beach, maybe do a little fishing in a couple of weeks, so that'll be fun.
All right. Jamie, what are you working on back there?
My twister.
Now, didn't you finish a twister and then wreck it recently, or was that somebody else that did that? Oh, no.
That was Jim Ballard.
Jim Ballard, yeah. I wonder where he's been.
I haven't heard from him in a while. I have not heard from him at all.
He's AWOL. I might have his telephone number. I'll send him a text message or something, see if he's still out there.
We had an exciting ride home from Brodak. It took us an extra 5 hours. The van that we were driving, the transmission went.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it actually, the overdrive went. And then as we're driving along, we had the first 3 gears. And as long as we were level or going downhill, we could maintain like 50 miles an hour. But as soon as we had to go uphill, it would slide out of gear, and we could only go. We kept the RPMs below 2,000, we could go like 35, 40 miles an hour.
Oh man, that's
It was, you know, it's Tom's, my friend Tom's van. He drove, and the overdriver went like Thursday at Brodak on the way to Brodak. The overdrive flipped out.
That's no fun at all.
Yeah, so we were lucky from Petsy to New Jersey. It's mostly downhill, so we were lucky. But it took us like 10 hours to get home.
Oh man.
well. That happened to Watt Moore and Will Davis and Doug on the way up Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Watt's truck broke down in Beckley, West Virginia, 4 hours away, and they got stuck on the side of the highway, and they were delayed 4 or 5 hours. But they got it into a dealership, and the guy fixed it in like 30 minutes. It was a cold pack, something like that, ignition pack or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but you weren't the only one that broke down.
Yeah. Well, there was no fixing this. We just wanted to get it back home so we could, you know, he could deal with mechanics in his area that he knows instead of being stuck out there, you know, 300 miles away from home and, you know, have to go pick up your car.
Yeah, it's no fun.
A couple of years ago, Sparky and his traveling buddy were in his buddy's motorhome and burned up the transmission, and it ended up conking out and pulling over right across the street from a transmission shop. So they got it across the street and lifted it up and fixed it. And I think they spent a night in a hotel and kept on trucking the next day.
Wasn't that Huntersville last year? Last October or something? So I thought it was like in Huntersville in October.
I don't remember that story.
Yeah, Mike, I'm building a built-up Pathfinder, not the LE, but at the Pathfinder Mark II, and I'm building a built-up fuselage for it. So that's what I'm working on.
Where are you at?
Charles, did you work on your Stalker, the engine anymore, or you just sort of gave up on it?
You know what? I actually did. I actually had swapped it out for a K-77, and then I was having problems with that. And so then I put the Stalker back in, and it was something that Gerald said. He was watching my flight. I posted a flight of my engine back in January, and he goes, you know, your inverted flights are a lot faster than your uprights.
Okay.
And he started me thinking, and then unsolicited, another friend happened to give me a lap times, and he it was a lean run, so I was getting like 4.9 lap time upright, and then 4.5 inverted. And I started thinking, wow, maybe the motor is actually lean sagging, you know, which was totally different than what I was thinking. I thought it was running kind of rich on the outside, but it probably was lean sagging. So then I took all the shims out. I was shimming the motors. I couldn't lower the fuel tank any lower against the engine bearer. So I took out all the shims, and the engine's running a lot better. You know, the Stalker 81, such a big, bulky motor, I couldn't tell that it was actually lean sagging. So yeah, that's a long answer to the question, but yeah, I got it working pretty good.
Yeah, good.
Oh, Charles, Sparky was showing that engine of his.
Yeah.
That's that muffler I was telling you about.
Okay, that's a nice muffler. I just have the stock muffler on my K-77.
Yeah, that's the one he came out with later for the K-77.
Yeah,
and that'll actually fit on the PA.
Yeah, it looks like a nice muffler, but I don't have the money to buy that right now. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, someday when you build an airplane to put that in there.
Yeah.
They said that with it being so much bigger, it really makes that engine run well.
Oh, really? Well, maybe it might be worth my while. You know, but I'm probably going to put that motor in the Thunder Gazer. I hope to build that next year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could even, if you watch some of Sparky's videos when he gets them done. You'll see Joe Gilbert. He's got the K-77 on a pipe. And that thing runs real well.
That sounds good. Yeah, I've seen 2 of the videos so far, and I haven't seen any video with the Joe Gilbert flying. I'd love to see that. I haven't seen Joe Gilbert fly since I saw him fly at Brodak a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
You made it to Brodak all the way from the West Coast?
Yeah, I went to Brodak a couple years ago.
How'd you get all your stuff there?
You know what? I actually flew out there and I shared a hotel expense with John Wright. And then, hang on. And then John Wright, he said I could fly his plane.
Oh, nice.
So, it was a Tudor, the original Tudor. So not the Tudor 2, but the original Tudor. And yeah, so I flew that plane the very first time in an official flight, not knowing what was going to happen after John let go of the plane. So it was really exciting.
Were you there the whole week?
I was there the whole week. Actually, I got there Sunday.
Yeah, because I don't remember you being there. I know we haven't missed one.
Wow, that's amazing because that's how I met Sparky. I met Sparky the first time at Brodax, and I filmed the video that Sparky has on his channel of the warehouse. That's the video I took.
Oh, okay.
And I shot some other video, but yeah, I had one of the best times of my life.
Yeah, I did a video of the manufacturing facility and of the museum a little bit. I don't know if any of you guys caught that one at all.
Do you have a channel, Mike, or
what's that?
Do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I Facebook live streamed it to Control Line Flying. That's where all my videos went, to Control Line Flying.
Okay, I need to find that link.
I need to visit it more often. I hardly ever look at Facebook. Yeah, and I
hardly ever too. My Facebook doesn't even have a picture of me, and it has my middle name, not my first name.
Well, there's a ton of Brodax video on that site. It's just,
oh yeah, it seemed like every half hour my phone was going off. Bing, bing, bing.
It's too easy to do it that way, man.
Mike Lonky just went live. Mike Lonky just went live. That's all I said all week long.
Hey, Charles.
Mike,
you gotta watch the first part of the video tonight when Tatiana was sitting on your lap there, and I asked her about not being able to see her boyfriend at school.
Yeah.
Your blush and stuff. She didn't want you to see. I know you couldn't see it because you're looking at the back and like, well,
you know what? She probably does like some boys, but I don't think she has a boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's at her age. She likes boys, and the boys like her, and it's all coming for you, though.
I know. I mean, I'm actually entertaining going to start working out because my daughter she's a high schooler now. Officially, she's a high schooler. And I was thinking about going to the gym.
Oh, here comes a little Lomax Jr.
So, I'm going to butt in here. I don't know if you guys, I don't think this was in paint the last time I saw you. But these are Sam's. Here, this one will show up better. These are Sam's airplanes for the Nats. We got them.
Oh, very cool.
Color now. Got the dope on them. They are.
I remember you showing them when they're all this bare wood.
Mm-hmm.
So you think he's still on track to have the whole pattern for the Nats?
He'll have it. He'll have it because we're getting there Saturday. There's the other one.
Very nice.
Stunt bot. That reminds me of the old Yuki I used to fly.
Yeah.
Except it didn't have.
Bigger. It's a lot bigger, but they're ready to hang the engines on and the landing gear and the belt cranks, and they're ready to put tanks on them. I'm going to try to get them out this weekend if we can.
That's cool.
They're ready to go.
Hey guys, I gotta go because it's so damn hot here. We're working all kinds of hours and I gotta get sleep.
All right, Steve.
So,
All right, Steve.
See you Friday. I got on Friday night and you guys were gone. I tried and tried and tried and it finally let me in and you guys were just leaving. And it's like, well,
oh, it's too bad.
Yeah, Dennis came in at the last few minutes too, and we were just getting ready to sign off. I
after 12 o'clock there, because I got the deal and it would not let me in, and it finally, Samantha figured out how to get me in on my phone, and I got in, and then you guys were gone because I could see at first you were there still.
Yeah.
By the time she got me in, you guys must have said goodnight, and I was the only one there. So, all right, we'll see you Friday.
Yeah, see you
All right,
Friday.
see you.
Hey, Rusty.
I'm glad he was able to come in and give us his Brodak report. I was hoping we'd get that.
I'm going to have to go back and watch the beginning. I came in about a half hour later, I think.
Yeah. I was showing off my new Cox Engine Forum wings that I bought. He sent me 2 for the price of 1. So now I got 1 for my lucky flying hat and 1 for my lucky fishing hat. I just glue it on my head. I just glue it on my head right there and use the iron. But use the monocoat iron to stick it on. So
yeah, that'd be really smart.
Yeah,
actually 3M77 works really well on hats.
Oh.
Hey, Rusty, I got a question for you.
There, I forgot about this one. There's a little half-a mouse racer. Somebody give John Tate.
Oh, John Tate, yeah.
John Tate gave that to Sam.
From the Norfolk Aeromodelers.
He actually he gave him 2 15-size Goodyear racers as well, and one of them had a AP on it that was seized up. The other had a Fox 15, and I got the Fox 15 running. We gave that airplane to that kid as well. We gave him both those Goodyear racers with the 15.
Oh, nice.
And he flew the one. He flew the one with the Fox 29. He flew it twice. I mean, it's not good for anything but just flat and level flying. But the kid ended up with 3 airplanes for the week.
Oh, that's great.
And then on Saturday, when we were getting out of there after the awards ceremony, all kinds of people, Bernie and Bill Gray, a couple other people were coming up and giving him handles and lines and props. And
oh yeah, but y'all really threw the hooks out for this guy. I hope you snagged him, and he's a control liner for life now.
I hope so.
Yeah, they're going to hook up with John Brodak's club with the Flying Circus because they live in Carmichael. They live literally 3 minutes from the field.
Wow.
Were both of the parents there?
Yeah, both parents, kid, his little sister, and his grandmother and grandpa. They were out there every day.
That's great.
Every day.
Wonder how they found out about it. I guess it was in a local newspaper or something.
Well, no, they've been flying for years and watching. They would come out and watch different events at different times.
Yeah.
And then his kid finally expressed an interest in wanting to do it. So the guy reached out to people on Facebook, and I guess I was the first one to respond. And I was like, I'll bring airplanes. I'll get him flying.
Excellent. That's cool.
So.
Yeah, it's always great to get a young kid flying.
He did good. He didn't crash anything either. He never crashed the whole week.
Wow, that's impressive.
No, I had him soloed on his second flight, man. He was.
Yeah, I heard that.
And then Will had the electric ring rats out there. The kids, Sam, the kid Angstrom, the new kid, Kyle, Duck's grandson.
Yeah.
And Alan Buck's grandson, Xander. Them 4 were out there with that electric ring rat, just flying the hell out of that thing all week too.
Oh, great.
And we had a Rachel from AMA. She's one of the media directors from AMA. She got out there on Wednesday and stayed through Saturday. She did video interviews with a bunch of people. She took a bunch of pictures, and there's supposed to be. She said she's going to write at least a 4-page article with pictures for Model Aviation.
That's great. I'm glad they're giving some attention to it.
There'll be the video part will be in the online magazine.
Yeah.
I wish you would have got her flying.
She did.
She actually flew.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Will got
great.
up on the wing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, she flew. She flew. We got pictures of her flying.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
See what it feels like, and there's nothing like it.
I lost my connection, and so I've missed a chunk. So I'll have to rewatch it later.
Yeah, I do that same thing sometimes. I missed
Yeah,
out on.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah, we've not got the best connection tonight. I don't know what's up with it, but I always reboot before the show just to make sure that I don't have any issues on my end. But it seems to be happening to everybody tonight, especially early on. It's not as glitchy now as it was then.
I was listening to Mike's talk about Brodeck and his endeavours after Brodeck, and then boom, it was gone. I tried to post a comment, but lost it. Well, back again, and we've got another person's joined.
I think it's Dennis.
Dennis was coming with his.
Hey, what's happening, Dennis?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Dennis.
Oh, you got it tissued now,
Huh?
Where's Dennis? I don't even see him.
huh?
Right.
Oh, there he is. He wasn't sideways, so I didn't recognize him.
Hey, Rusty.
Yeah.
Got a question. Yeah.
All right.
I know you did a video forever ago with the Walter Umland little that laser cut thing to line up the
the jig, the wing jig,
the jig and all that. When I go to line up the elevator with the wings, I go to the wing tips down to the tips of the elevator.
Let's see. Yeah. How do you? No, I just did it with a ruler.
What did I say? Like I measure to make sure it's square. Like the end of the elevator.
Measure to the hinge line. In fact, I didn't even use the long sticks for putting the elevator in because it was too cumbersome. It was too easy to bump it and knock it out of shape. So I took a piece of string. Let's see, what did I do? You know what? I'd have to go back to that gun video, but I basically took my ruler and measured from the hinge line on the trail edge of the main wing to the hinge line on the elevator, and found it, and had to go back and forth until I got them both exactly right, and then tack it.
Just eyeball
epoxy
on it.
Yeah, that's normally what I do.
That's normally what I do too. I've done it I've done it so many different ways. I forget which way I did it the last time, but I've used string and a pin, put it in the center of the front of the fuselage, or and then just measure it back and mark the string, move it over to the other side, see where the mark is, and then I might have to put more than one mark on it before it's all over, but do it like that, and hell, it'll be close enough. It'll be imperceptibly off by the time you get through if you're pretty careful. And then the main thing is just getting that parallel, with the wing on the sides.
Now, do I want to CA it or use epoxy?
I tack it with CA and maybe even tap a little 32nd or 64th ply shim in it just to hold it still until I'm ready to do the serious glue, and then I put epoxy in it and turn it sideways, run a bead of epoxy down it, hit it with a heat gun. That epoxy will flow through. You want to put some tape on the other side so when it runs out of that root, it doesn't get all over your bare wood or whatever is on the
on
side.
A simple slab elevator and slab fuselage like that. I just CA it and I run a bead of white glue around it, Elmer's glue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't do anything fancy with jigs. when
a
I'm
lot thinner than epoxy, and it's light.
yeah.
And it's gonna hold. It'll hold it forever.
You're right. And I don't do anything with those except for making the movie because it was Walt's. He gave it to me, and I promised I'd make a movie of it. Otherwise, truthfully, I wouldn't have really needed to use that jig for the stab. Now, for the wing, you know, it was kind of handy and fun to do. It was fun to do the video, but it's nothing you can't do with a ruler. But it does make it. If you do it a couple of times, it does make it quick and easy. But for the stab, I agree with what Mike says. You know, you can, eyeball it, measure it, get it straight, and compare it to the trail edge. You know, just looking across it, tack it down, and glue it.
Oh shit! There it goes. For that way I can take it to Dallas. Ain't no reason why I shouldn't. I just keep fiddling around. Oh, I'm gonna work on it, and then I just end up not doing nothing, just sitting here cleaning the bench over and over.
Looked like you were working on the tail wheel for a while there. I kept cutting over to you to see what you were doing. And did you get it mounted?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Mounted.
Okay.
Epoxy. I'm gonna just gotta sand it, fill in the little crack. And I put a 3/16 wood dowel. I drill in it and fill that hole with epoxy and shove a 3/16 wood dowel right into it, and then drilled 1/16 for the wire, shoved it in there, and basically epoxied the part I cut off right back into it, the notch.
I'd highly recommend putting some cheek triplers on there. I think that's a good idea. Just stiffen that front end up really well. And mine's got them on both sides. Most people just have them on the inboard side. But
I was thinking about maybe doing a I can't think of it. Inboard wing. Put like a 1/4 inch balsa on the inboard and just kind of shape it.
that's right.
I was
Or you
thinking
can do,
about
or
maybe
you can put a half
doing
inch on there if you want to, and then shape it like the Cardinals are. Either way, one looks really cool, but either one's just about as functional as the other.
And I don't think it's going to add too much weight doing that. I mean, it's already going to be nose heavy.
You can use super light balsa too. It doesn't have to be really, heavy duty balsa.
Yeah. Now I'm going to put triangle stock under the stab as well once I get that set.
Yeah, I like to put a gusset under there like that too.
Yeah, that's good on a profile. It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, not even to round off the fuselage, just to leave it as is.
I usually knock the corners off. I don't do a lot of rounding on most of them. I do taper it, at the rear end a little bit, starting just in front of the stab, but not much. And on the Cardinal, I put that
I tapered
fiber in so I could taper it even more. Yeah, like that. Just like that.
Well, guys, I'm going to sign off.
Okay, Al, thanks for coming in. I've been hoping you'd come visit us again. I'm glad you made it.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully that over comes in by next weekend, and that way I can get that, or hopefully by this weekend I can have that over flying for next weekend.
I think I'm out of here too, guys.
Yeah, it's almost closing time anyway. Thanks for coming, Mike.
All right.
Appreciate your show and tell. That's always good.
Yeah.
And congratulations, man. I looked at the scoreboards. You and Chris both killed them in profile.
Yeah, we did pretty good. I shot myself in the foot on PA, man. I had a better score going on Saturday, and I had an overrun.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at all the scores yet.
Dennis and Bernie, as I was walking out of the circle, they were like, "Come here, we're gonna slap you." They told me my flight was better than the day before, but I ran over. So.
Ah, shit.
Oh well, but it was fun. It was certainly a fun week.
Yeah, I was happy to see you putting up points like that. That's great.
Yeah.
And Chris too. I had no idea he was flying as well as he is. And I had watched a movie of him recently, and he surprised me. And now that I saw the scoreboards, he really is improving.
Yeah, I will. I will definitely be flying advanced at Huntersville in October.
Yeah, I'll be happy if I'm flying anything. So I think I will be by then. If I ever am going to, I will be by then. Let's say that.
Okay. All right, guys, take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. Top-notch dad, expert flyer.
Yeah, he said he put on a good show here, Sam.
Yeah.
Well, it's very inspirational when other people can see father-son team going like that. It helps encourage my boys. I know that much.
Yeah, I love to see that. My boy used to have fun going out with me to fly, but just didn't take it seriously. He never, cared to pursue it like me. He did. He had other hobbies that took up a lot of his time, and they were just as hard to do as my hobby. So, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you can't decide it. They'll find their way along. And I know mine will probably want to do something else, but all I can do is hope they'll continue it. But yeah, my two boys really enjoyed it on the weekend. They often moan and groan, but even young Max, who's a little more reluctant, was saying, I had a really great time. I really enjoyed flying. He put in some good flights.
Yeah, good.
They're both flying a 25 size model of Otto's, and it used to be Alina's old stunt trainer. So she flew it, then both boys flew it, and then after the end of the day, it was all falling apart. The wing was loose, and it was all flopping about in the air, and it was just hanging together. But they both had all three of them had a whale of a time flying it. But just need more backups because it becomes very intensive rebuilding models between each flying session.
Some of the most fun flights I've seen are from planes that are falling apart as you fly them. That makes for a fun flight.
Yeah, very exciting.
Did y'all ever watch a show called MASH in New Zealand? Did that come on there? It was about the army doctors in Korea.
Yeah, it was very popular here.
And there was a show or two where this Korean pilot, they called him 5 o'clock Charlie, would fly over and drop paraphernalia, what do you call it? Papers with anti-American stuff. He would drop on them, and he always flew a plane that sounded like the engine was about to fall out of it. And Al, my son, took the PT-19 up across the street at the church one day, and it was wham, bam, wham, bam, wham, bam. And it was the first time I ever saw him fly a full tank of gas out of it. And it was up and down and up and down. And we were both laughing our asses off when that was over. And I told him, I said, that sounded like 5 o'clock Charlie. And he got a kick out of that.
I remember it now. It comes back. Yeah. It was a lot of fun watching it as a kid, but they reran it too many times here in New Zealand. They must have rerun it at least a double.
They cut it up too. After it started going into reruns, they would cut the last bits before the commercials out, and you would miss what I think was about half of the funniest stuff was gone. And so, I hate it when they do that.
I didn't know that was a Korean War. I knew there was a war, but I didn't know what it was. So all those years I was watching it, it wasn't clear to me which war it was.
Yeah, it was Korea.
Yeah, the little helicopters. Occasionally you'd see a jeep or a tank or something that helped place its period in time. But it was fun watching it, but it was sort of fitted into the very politically correct New Zealand climate very well. We didn't get a whole lot of other American shows of that period.
Did you guys watch Hogan's Heroes in New Zealand?
Yeah, I enjoyed watching Hogan's Heroes, but they stopped that when I was relatively young. They didn't do reruns of that.
Yeah, it was World War II. That was one of my dad's favorites, and mine too, once I got a little older and started watching it regularly.
Sergeant
Based loosely on, it was a comedy based loosely on the movie Stalag 17, I think. But Stalag 17 was not a comedy movie.
No. My father, being a German, he sort of he's a bit hesitant to watch those sort of war-related movies, but he used to really like Sergeant Schultz, and he was, I know nothing, I see nothing, you know.
Nothing. Yeah. Big old.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah, I suppose the whole thing, you've got to be able to laugh at it, and I suppose a lot of those war movies and comedy serials would have upset a few people that experienced it firsthand, but I suppose at the end of it, if you can laugh about it and see your way through it, it's probably good for you in a way.
Which show had Gomer Pyle in? Which one was that?
That was Andy Griffith.
Off from Andy Griffith.
No, but the one when he's in the service.
Yeah, in the Marines. Yeah, that spun off. He joined the Marines when he was on the Andy Griffith show, and as the same character joined the Marines, and then had his own Gomer Pyle USMC with Sergeant Carter.
Yeah, that was funny too.
Oh, Jim Neighbors. He had one hell of a good singing voice too in real life. He did not talk like that in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, I assumed that.
Part of being a good actor, isn't it? The best actors in the past could sing. They could perform in many ways. I suppose it's something that missing today in a way. You can't see many modern performers that could act, sing, and dance like a lot of those from the past could.
Yeah, like Bing Crosby.
Oh, White Christmas is one of my favorite Bing Crosby movies. Me and Heidi used to watch that every Christmas.
Same here. My wife likes watching it too.
Yeah, it wasn't. We've kind of gotten tired of it now. We know it line by line, I think, but it wasn't a Christmas if we didn't watch White Christmas at least once.
Just like the one I used to know.
My boys like some of the old sci-fi movies. I sort of got them used to watching some of the very old ones. We watched The Day the Earth Stood Still, that movie from like 1952, the UFO movie, and they really enjoyed watching that. But it's so different to watching a modern movie. And, just the old black and white movies. You've got to think about it a bit more, I suppose. You've got to take it in. It's not so in your face. They don't have all the fancy special effects. But, next, sitting there drawing robots based off what he saw on The Day the Earth Stood Still. He thought it was terrific.
I still watch we still watch those old black and white Christmas movies, and some of them have been colorized now and used to be black and white, but when Ted Turner bought them all, he started colorizing them, like Miracle on 34th Street. That's a pretty good flick.
Yeah, I've seen that. Hey, Dennis.
Go ahead.
Hey, Dennis. Uh-oh.
We're losing him.
He disappeared as soon as you spoke to him. There. Oh, he's got the lead outs in it now.
Yeah. Dennis, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can barely hear you.
Let me turn him up a little. Yeah, I had to turn Mike all the way up.
Yeah, my battery's ready to run out on my phone.
Oh, okay. I was just curious, what kind of covering is that? Is that that doctor's paper, or is that tissue, or what is it?
Yeah, the doctor's paper, medium weight doctor's paper.
All right, cool.
It works great.
It's your first time using it?
No. Just about all my planes, the 46 and the 60 have it.
Oh, well, cool. I'm going to probably use that. I got some from Walter Hicks, so I'll probably use that when I cover my Pathfinder.
Before you put it on, you got to find out which way the grain runs. Is that right?
It runs lengthwise. At least on the roll that I have, all the rolls I have, it runs lengthwise. So it's all set up. And just make sure to put the curl side down.
Okay. Yeah, I've got some I'm going to be using on my fuselage, but I'm still going to use the monocoat on the wing. Sparky sent me a rollback from Brodak. I got to go get it from Bob Zambelli. I guess it'll be next month before I get down to his house.
Mark Troutman used it on a Nobler he built, and he said it is just fantastic.
Who built?
Mark Troutman. Down in Houston, and he just said it is great stuff. I mean, it's great.
Well, that's really encouraging.
You rate on it, and it was just fantastic.
Wow!
I got a whole roll of it, so I might try it on my Magician.
I hate to do it on a nice plane for the first try, though. So I might wait and just do a test wing. Like I got an old wreck, I could peel the coating off of one of my old Magnum wings and put some on there and just get the hang of it.
Yeah, I got the twister wing from the first twister that I started. This is going to be my test piece.
I think I threw my old Cardinal wings away. I might have one of them. I'm going to try it because, man,
I got a nice meat probably till I say hell with this hobby.
You know, I've heard that there's different weights and grades of that, but I've checked at every doctor's office I've been to, and I can't tell the difference between any of them.
Yeah, this is the one that whenever the whole thing came about on Stunt, the link to it and whatnot, Alan Perret bought a whole case. And then he showed up to the field one day, like $5 a roll. Yeah, we all jumped on. And I asked Mark about it, about, you know, which way to apply. You know, you apply, go down, or doesn't matter. He said it don't matter. Just throw it on there.
Yeah, well, Dennis said make sure the curl side's down. But
which, I mean, that would make sense to me.
You can tear it, and it'll tear straight one way, and it'll rip off to the side no matter how hard you try the other way. So I would think you would want the grain running in a certain direction. I would think front to back on the wing, lead to trail. You want the grain running.
Let's see.
What's
the grain?
I think you'd want it running chord-wise.
The way this looks, I can't even, I mean, I see a bunch of things in there. I can't tell which way it's running.
You take a piece of it and try to tear a straight line in both directions and see if one way won't tear straight and the other way will, then you know which way the grain runs.
I don't know. Beats the hell out of me.
Being in the office machine business for decades, I kind of know stuff like that about paper.
So, who knows? So when it tears straight, is that the grain? That's the direction of the grain, and when it tears crooked, that's when you're going against the grain.
That's right.
That was a lucky guess on my part.
Well, it seems like the grain's running in the left, based on the roll I got. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of straight.
Just hanging at the bottom looks like you tore it against the grain, so it must run in the length that's wrapped on that roll.
When I tear it like this, it goes crooked.
Yeah.
When I laid the length, it goes straight.
That's your grain there.
Yep.
That's the direction of the grain.
And so you run that across the wing or front to back?
Chord-wise, I think. From front to back, back to front.
Well, man.
Well, that only was faster.
That's only my guess. I'm not an expert on that either.
I'm not. I mean, I've never done.
Yeah, being that I've never done it, I hate to be giving out advice on national TV.
With all our millions of viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is two types of paper, though. You have to be careful. One, there's the regular doctor's paper, and it's really smooth. And then you want to get actually what is called crepe paper, is what it is. And that's the stuff like silk span.
Okay,
I
well,
mean, this stuff is kind of thick, silky smooth, but it's got like a texture to it.
Yeah, that's the crate paper.
okay. I'll take another look at mine, but it's the same stuff I see at every doctor's office I go to.
I still got the link for it to Amazon. It's like $30 a case or something.
So Dennis, did you use butyrate or non-tautenine or tautenine? What'd you use to?
It's all the butyrate tautenine.
Okay. Now you're gonna put that same covering on the fuselage?
I'm still debating that. I normally don't cover the bare wood with paper, but I use epoxy to seal it. But I'm worried about weight gain now. I don't want it to get any heavier than it is.
Now, if you was gonna cover the fuselage, just hypothetically, then would you use non-tautenine dope?
No, I use tautenine dope on everything.
Even on wood surfaces, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid of it shrinking up like a pretzel.
It could warp it, yeah. If you've got thin turtle decking or a molded fuselage, it could affect it. I know I did it on my it was an acrobat years ago. I put too much tautening dope on the turtle deck behind the canopy, and it all bowed in between the formers.
That's what's leading me to believe I may not paper it.
I think the epoxy is safer in that sense in the long term.
Yeah, and it fills the grain really, really well. So, you know, when you paint it in time, I have 3 coats of clear on it now, and the grain is filled. I have some rough spots I got to work out, but other than that, no, it's really fine. That's why I'm hesitant about putting paper on it now.
It's looking good.
I really
anyway.
like that rudder shape on that plane.
I just like I ran across this plane when I was a kid in American Modeler. It was 68. And I always liked the shape and the lines of the plane. And I said, someday I want to build one of those. And, well, today's the day.
Today's the day. Very good. Looking good.
There's some nice models from that period in time, the late 60s. And for here in New Zealand, they comply with their vintage stunt, which is actually pre-1970s. It means you can fly models like the Impala and the Galaxy and the, I think, Carousel, and a lot of those ones would be eligible for vintage stunt here. I suppose you fly them in, what's it called? You've got a class there for Classic 30 or something. Oh, no, that's different. It's for 30
we have
years.
Nostalgia 30 and we have Classic.
So it would fit into Classic.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not
you've
sure
got
if period.
Nostalgia 30 just means it has to be 30 years old, right?
I think that's how it is, yeah. As time marching on, some planes are qualifying for Nostalgia 30.
Whereas old times.
Nostalgia 30 appears not that it hasn't caught on for some reason. I don't know why.
We fly it at Huntersville at every contest.
Yeah, I flew it at Brodax, Nostalgia 30. I actually got second in Nostalgia 30 in Brodax. And that was like my first advanced contest.
That can be profiled for use anything, right?
Yeah, I flew a Tudor 1. The top flight kit.
Yeah, that's like the one I flew last spring.
With the OS Max 35S, which I wasn't familiar with either one of them. I flew it my first official flight in the official competition. My first flight, I mean, was an official flight, what I mean to say. I didn't have practice or anything.
You said also that you were so used to flying heavier planes that it was so unusually light that it felt funny, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I was just, had the hardest time just trying to finesse it, you know. That plane was 32 ounces, and my nobler embarrassingly to admit, was like 51, 52 ounces. So I just came from flying my Nobler, which I was used to with the, and then I flew that 32-ounce plane. Totally different feel.
Makes it exciting.
No? What, Gerald?
It makes it exciting, alternating between different planes that are quite different like that. It's like eating something very different or listening to different music you're not used to listening to. It can be a bit of fun in a way.
Yeah.
I find that you fly somebody else's model and it's so different to your own. It helps you reassess, I like this, I don't like that, and makes you think about what you're flying normally.
And it was a, I mean, the guy that John Wright let me fly, he told me it was a 500-point plane. He'd gotten over 500 points, flying it, an expert. And so, it was a pretty good flying plane. Just was just out of my wheelhouse, something that light. And because prior to my Nobler, I was flying the Score. My Score was 76 ounces. I was at a friend's barbecue and for 4th of July, and I met this guy who I meet every year. I don't see him any other time except for at the barbecue. And this same guy, I can't remember his name, and that's why we shook hands, was trying to reintroduce ourselves. So, anyways, he goes on to tell my friend who hosted the barbecue, he goes, "Man, that Charles sure has a strong handshake, and my friend Mike told this guy, "Yeah, that's because he flies heavy airplanes."
You need it. You need that strength. You need some strong shoulders. I know when I first got a heavy model and I gave it to Otto to fly, he sort of managed it, and you give a heavy model to Max and you think, "Look, my arm off, Dad, my shoulder's really sore," and you don't really think about it. But yeah, small arms can't cope with that.
That Magnum used to pull me off of the circle in pullouts, especially if it was any wind at all. I'd come around the bottom of a loop, and next thing I knew, it had pulled me 2 or 3 steps forward, which is never a good idea when you're pulling out of the bottom of a loop, walking towards the plane.
Right. And my Strega weighs about, I think my Strega weighs about 75 ounces.
Yeah, my Magnum is 72.
And I make sure that my feet are both planted when I do a maneuver. I mean, I'm not, I make sure I'm not moving around or getting ready to put my foot down. I make sure my feet are both down before I, finish a maneuver,
Yeah, the body language
kind of moved me a little bit.
That was what was interesting about watching Sparky's video on Brodeck day one. He put a video of Dan Benchuk flying his P-47 with the twin Fox 35, and just watching his footwork, the way he moves around the circle, was quite interesting. You could see he's flying it with his whole body. It was really quite something, just watching how he made the thing.
Yeah, a lot of times he walks in a backwards circle when he's flying. I noticed that.
Paul Walker walks backwards too when he flies, and so does who else? I think Brett Buck does that also. I wonder why those guys do that.
I don't know. And another thing Brett does that surprised me is he flies what I've seen, he flies everything from right here, right in front of his chest, and never reaches way up or out.
Yeah. When he does the like when I do the wing over, the reverse wing over, I bring my hand up over my head, and you're right. I think Brett Buck, I don't think he does that.
I'm afraid I'd cut my ear off if I tried to do it like Brett does.
We've all got very different styles, yeah. It's interesting. You can watch somebody's model flying, and then you watch the person flying, and you can learn a whole lot just from watching the
absolutely.
That amaze me are the ones that fly the whole wing over or figure 8 facing this way and just turn their bodies without moving their feet and come back around. And I have to turn my body around when I come out on the other side.
I mean, that's what I do. When I started at the side, come over, come across, and come back over again. I'm sideways with it.
When I'm focusing, I actually, on the figure 8, I try to turn my head and not turn my torso so that I don't lose my intersection.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I do stand planted facing the judges when I fly the figure eight, but let's see, with a wing over, I stand sideways. Yeah. I stand sideways and point towards the judges and fly like that I don't actually move my feet when I do that. But pulling out of a overhead eight, I have to turn around to pull out from that. I don't know. Maybe I don't have to. I just do. And that's some of the things I should pay more attention to.
Yeah, when I was watching, I actually have video of Orestes Hernandez, and I was impressed with how when he pulls out of his overhead eight and also the four-leaf clover, he just turns his torso around to terminate the maneuver.
Yeah.
You know, where some guys will turn all the way around. He keeps his feet flat. He just reaches behind him and finishes the maneuver.
Some people are flexible enough to do that, I guess. I'm not, though.
And I saw John Parrish do the same thing at Brodax. I was pretty impressed with that.
Well, that's where I suppose watching a video of yourself fly, you can learn a lot. Just comparing and seeing how you could improve your positioning and things like the overhead eight. It's one where you really got to think quite carefully of how you start, because where you start and how you get that first loop in seems to dictate how everything flows from there. If you louse it up at the start, you end up with a lousy overhead eight. It's probably because it's not so much in front of you. You're not lining it up with something behind you. You can't line it up with the figure eights.
Yeah.
Unless you line it up with a cloud or something, it's much harder to get that positioning right.
I wanted to watch my hand motions one time and took a video focusing on just that. And Wayne took the video in the circle with me. And some of my hand motions were just radically jerky, you know, and doing things that must have been ruining my shapes. And so I was able to learn a lot from that and try to calm my hand down. And I was doing a lot of things that looked like panic maneuvers, you know, that I shouldn't have been rotating over like this, pulling out at the bottom. And like, for instance, if I go around a loop, come around the bottom and do that, and then back up and do that. And so, you know, all of that was making my shapes out of sorts. And I was just getting the hang of decent pullouts when I had to quit flying. So that is something I will try to get back to. But I found out I had tried some new adjustments on my handle. I had moved the up line way farther out and left the down line where it was. And that had really fixed a lot of my porpoising at the bottom. And so, yeah, disappointed that I hadn't been able to get back and perfect that. I felt like I was just starting to get good.
Yeah, I know that frustration of that, because I've had, well, in the past, I'd have crashes when I was just getting, you know,
yeah,
to a certain point, and then it's like, get a new build and you have to start all over again. And it's like, man, I remember I was just, then when I finally get back to where I was with the new build,
crash.
Yeah, what a waste of time. Yeah, and then sometimes before, you know, I'd crash, but fortunately I haven't crashed in like 3 years. I don't consider when the Nobler crashed, that's my fault. The Stooge crashed that plane. I had no control, but so notwithstanding the Nobler, I really haven't crashed in 3 years.
You've done well.
And I believe my crashing days are over, I think. You know, barring
knock on wood.
Yeah, well, barring the wind just, you know, knocking the plane down. I've heard people have that experience where they fly in a turbulent place and the wind just knocks their plane down to the deck, and I get the impression is this, you just can't, you're helpless.
Yeah, there's not much you can do in some situations, like flying next to trees when you can't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
And doing something totally different up top than it is down on the ground. The wind is.
Yeah. So barring that, we'll see what happens. But
that happened at that last contest we had in October at Flying Field at Bruce McLaren Field. It's got trees, and there was a very experienced modeler that was flying from South Africa, and he was flying all his he was flying very close to the ground, and he just got a terribly bad gust of wind, and it blew his model into the ground. It was really well destroyed, but he was just doing his 5-foot pull-outs and his 5-foot height. He was keeping it nice and low. There was no margin there for the sudden gust of wind, and it just slammed him in. And you realise it can happen, but all you can do is just be aware of the turbulence and maybe take it a bit higher when there is chronic turbulence, like on the day we were flying in the contest.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I've been fortunate till now, so I'm willing to continue.
Well, Lauren Nell's model was an electric model, and when it hit, it was like an egg exploding. All these little pieces just went everywhere. There was so little of it left.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't really build them very heavily, the electric ones. They don't have the formers and the bearers and everything. So you get a fuselage that's reduced to tiny little scraps.
Yeah, I guess so, because they don't have that piston moving, so it's a smooth operator, you know?
Yeah, and that's one reason that electric guys that build electric planes have to make sure that their controls are super, super free, so that gravity will make the elevator fall, you know, or the flaps or whatever, just no resistance. Because with an internal combustion engine, when the lines go a little bit slack, the vibrations will make everything go back to neutral. But you go slack on an electric plane and there's no vibration to help it straighten itself out. So you gotta build it that much cleaner.
Wow.
Yeah, with my scale electric model, often before you give the move, and I was taking a step back and pulling the handle in towards me to feel like I was reasserting my controls, because they do have that feeling like it's free flight, it's just floating along. Yeah, it's just an unusual feeling flying electric. It's different things about it.
I've never flown electric. Well, I take that back. One time I flew an electric, and that was sitting in the bar stool at the February meeting at Watt's house with Will burning the bar stool while I flew. But I didn't really gain anything from that. I was just happy to be flying something.
Well, it was a flight streak or a ringmaster or something, wasn't it?
It was a lightning streak, I believe, which is an English version, or originally was an English version of a flight streak. It was also built by Aldridge, but it's a little bit different looking, but I think it's pretty much got the same measurements, and it's got a very, very similar shape. It looks like a Sky Ray and a flight streak had sex and made a baby.
Very much. That's what I got behind me right here on the wall, the little junior lightning streak.
Yeah.
Funny. Yeah, the idea that planes having sex is funny.
The guy that's got problems with his hip in our club, he was really keen to fly, but the previous week we'd flown, he was flying a half A model, but it was going too fast. This time around, he got this huge old thing he calls his Blender chook in it, and a massive 600-inch area with an OS 30, so it circulates very slowly. It's like a 7-second lap time, and he was happy with that. He could take it through the whole tank and land, and then rush to sit down somewhere, but it helped just flying that much slower. He could circulate around slow, but he just said by the end of the flight he was just waiting for the motor to stop because his hip was giving him so much pain. But that might be another thing for you, Rusty. Just find the model that's really slow, just to build yourself up to circulating around, because I think it's just the leg work that he found very hard. But yeah, he's probably going to be going through a hip operation in a couple of weeks' time, so it'll be the hard recovery as well.
I hope he does well.
Yeah, same here.
Painful surgery, boy. When they start hammering and screwing and boring holes in your bones, it's different. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And come back from it better. That's the thing, isn't it? Come back and be functional. A lot of it's the recovery time. You don't know how long it'll take. You just tell yourself, yeah, I'm gonna get better. And
yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, here's a question.
All right.
You had a choice. You had a choice, okay, out of a Super Chief kit, a Vico Thunderbird, or a Blue Box Geesky Nobler. Which would you choose?
What was the first one again?
Because
First one was a Super Chief.
Oh, okay. That's an old-time stunt plane, right?
The Chief, not the Super Chief.
Oh, okay. You know what? I don't know enough about any of those. I'd have to go say the Nobler, because I've flown ARF Noblers. I don't know how close that is to a Geesky Nobler, but it's a good flying plane. I mean, you know, I probably flew some of the best flights with the Nobler that I've flown.
it was Super Chief, the oldest design. The Super Chief's like a little bit after the Chief. It's just got a different aerofoil and the different canopy, but it's basically a Chief, and that's a very really almost old-time, you know, vintage model. And the Thunderbird's probably the most advanced, as far as I think. Or as far as my thinking goes, the Thunderbird would be the choice.
Has the Thunderbird got an elliptical wing?
Sort of.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's kind of like a smoothie wing in a way. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. It's a nice shape.
I was looking for an old-time stunt plane for my Fox 35. Now, I want an LD. Walt Umland's, you know, he's out of the picture at the moment, so that's a no-go. And I got offered a Super Chief, a Thunderbird, or a Geesky Nobler, which I know none of them are old-time stunt, but I got offered one of them if I was to build it and compete with it, not to sell it and whatnot, you know. I'm just not sure which one I would go with if I would happen to take it.
I think the Super Chief's too big for the Fox 35. It's 600 square inch, a big model, and you'd be pushing your Fox real hard on that. You really need something bigger, like the 45.
Yeah.
And the,
I've never flown either myself, so I don't know.
The Fox 35 and a modern 25 are comparable in power, I think, because I like my Yak 9. That Sterling Yak 9 is a small plane, and I've got a Fox 35 on it, which seems like a perfect fit. And it's about a 34-ounce plane, I believe, built out of sterling wood, except for the fuselage.
Well, Fox actually keep it under
Now,
40.
what about?
So what?
And
What about the Chief? I mean, is that too big for a regular Vico Chief?
Yep. Again, it's 600 square inch. It's a big model.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if the Super was just bigger in size.
Yeah, the Super Chief's basically the same model, just with a few updates. It's got a better aerofoil on it, different canopy, and some of them are inverted instead of upright engine. But yeah, the Super Chief and Chief, basically the same size model. And if you were flying with a Fox 35, you'd be pushing that thing real hard. Maybe a Vico 35 and some nitro and no muffler, but yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. I'd rather use a bigger engine, have it more relaxed, and do what Rusty said and put it on a smaller model. You know, that if it's under the Fox 35, really wants a model that's 35 ounces and 400 so square area up to 450. I wouldn't put anything bigger on a Fox 35. It's not that much power.
Who makes these kits, James?
Well, they're all original kits. Now, I don't know who made the Super Chief, because I heard it was never kitted, but kitted it for Mark Troutman, who gave it to Howard Williams, who used to come to us on the Hangouts, and Howard offered me one of them, told me to pick one, whatever I wanted, you know, but since I can't use none of them at old time, I'm probably more likely not going to accept any of them, because it's just kind of the purpose.
The Chief is... Oh, I just happen to have, I recently got it, that's the Chief.
Oh.
On that.
Oh, interesting, Gerald. Okay. That's the Chief.
Yeah.
That's a low winger. No, it's not. Thought it was a low winger at first.
So how does the Super Chief differ?
The Super Chief got inverted engine. The motor's underneath, and it's got a bubble canopy, and it doesn't have a polywog airfoil. The original Vico Chief had a polywog airfoil, and the polywog Chief is old-time legal because it's pre-52. But the old-time Chief originally had a Class A, B, or C size engine, so that you could have, in theory, put a 59 on it. You know, you could have put a 60 on the Chief, and in its era, I imagine people would have used an Atwood Champ or Super Cyclone or Anderson Spitfire or Fox 59 would have been appropriate. So a Fox 35 will be working hard.
So James,
yeah,
did you want to fly old time?
I was wanting to get one just so I can, have another plane to fly in another event.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was on Facebook at Axe, and I got all kind of responses of all kind of things. I'm like, old time stunt. And they're all like, fly a Banshee. I'm like, old time stunt. Fly a Twister. I said, old time stunt. Oh, just fly a Ringmaster. No, I don't want a damn Ringmaster. I got Ringmasters. I want something different,
Because
I got all kind of.
The advice I was given is if I want to fly more, maybe fly classic. That way I can still work on the same pattern. And like I was recommended to build a Shark, which is still competitive in Pampa, and it's a really good plane in classic. That way you can, but flying old times is going to be a totally different pattern. It's going to add more time away from you perfecting your Pampa. That's what my goal is, to get really good at the Pampa stunt pattern. So,
oh yeah, which I have a classic plane.
All depends upon your goals. But you might not want to have all those things going on at the contest.
Yeah, which I mean, I have a Gypsy that's built already.
Yeah, that's a good plane.
I haven't flown. I haven't flown it yet because the guy in my club that's holding it for me says I'm not allowed to fly it till I can fly the pattern 3 times and not crash. Which
that's a good
I haven't
point.
crashed yet.
That's a
I
good
haven't
advice.
crashed yet, except for the first flight that I did. The first flight that I tried to pull my Ringmaster on the Hourglass, I just went boom and busted the prop. I don't count that though.
You don't count that one.
But flying that primary force, I ain't crashed it yet. So I mean, and after this stupid Twister done.
Is that a contest?
But I also got my Magician.
Yeah, that's a good flying plane. Yeah, I was at a contest and I was judging this guy who had just flew an old time stunt, and I forgot what he blew. He blew the I think he blew the overhead 8 because he only flew 2 laps as opposed to 2.5. And I think it was confused between the old time stunt and the regular Pampa, and so
I can see how that would happen.
Lost pattern points, and it took him out of winning that contest. And we had a little conversation about it, and I told him, well, according to the rule book, you needed to do this, and I think it was just because he was confused and flying the old time stunt pattern.
Yeah, it happens because we do another pattern here. We use like the novice pattern or sportsman pattern for our vintage stunt, and the models they're flying are up to 1970, so it makes no sense because that was the pattern we used to use for our vintage stunt model. So I built my Viking that's behind me there, and that's really a vintage model. It's not really it's a pure old-time stunter, I should say, pre-52, and it's competing against models that should be doing an F2B pattern. They should be doing the full pattern. So if you want to practice the full pattern, then I'd say Charles is right. Just stick to doing the nostalgia, not old time, because it'll confuse you, because it confuses me. You start doing the wrong numbers of figure 8s or overhead 8s, and it stuffs you.
I don't know. I guess I'm just diverse. I like it all. Which I'm in a deal with my dad right now because he is so adamant of getting this kit from me.
Let me look at it. Hang on. Oh, Fokker D7. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's 33 wingspan. It's all original. It's 100% complete. Decals are still great.
Wow.
The step span is still fabulous. And probably the most prized part of it that's usually when you find these on eBay that's always missing is the actual metal radiator grill. The mesh and
look at that
frame of it. And he had one. He had one years ago whenever I was little. He built it, he flew it, and all that other good stuff. And he's been wanting another one, Well, the reason I got this because he had one. And I had the Sterling, the Newport 28 to go with it, which I sold. Because, I mean, the kit was just, you know, I'm not a collector. I would not have no closet queens, you know, kit sitting there. No, if I'm going to buy a kit, I'm going to build a kit. And with this, I had the notion of building it and whatnot. I've never really thought about it like, it's just, I just ain't got the time, you know, to put towards a kit like this. The wood is made of oak and whatnot. And he keeps bugging me about it. I'm like, all right, well, I tell you what, we'll swap kit for kit. You buy me I want, you'll get this. And I'm thinking in my head, ooh, this would be a good way to get a Vector 40. And yeah, I'm not spending. He's like, I know how much you paid for that, and I'm not going to throw away $200 and yada yada yada. So I'm thinking, all right, well, the hobby shop that I go to has old time stunt planes. It has a Empire and other oddball things. So I don't know. I always wanted a Vampire. You know, 25 size. I wanted something for the Fox, which I can still always get the El Diablo. But I may just get the Vampire and just call it even and be done with it. Because I only paid like $60 for the which is a steal, as one sold today on eBay for a little over $100. But
well, I think we've had a pretty good show tonight. I think it's probably about time to wrap her up, though. 12:33 over here on the right coast.
I got to go and do the dinner and take in the washing and sort things
all righty.
Yeah.
That's been a good show.
Now Gerald's got to go make it look like he's done a whole day's work while his wife was away. And
I had to do a whole lot of stuff for our club. I have to do our newsletter, and I'm still working on our club.
Oh my God, I got to do a newsletter tomorrow too. It'll take me 2 days to do it. So yeah, I gotta do that too. But anyway, appreciate all y'all coming, and you YouTube guys, of which we still have 4 out there. Nobody answered me in the chat box when I asked if anybody's still watching, but looks like somebody is. So
I know somebody is because he just replied to a comment on the link I posted on Facebook telling me that the Fox 35 is made for the Nobler and that the Thunderbird needs a bigger engine.
I posted one at 12:02 that says it's quiet out there. Anybody still on the tube chat box? And nobody ever answered that.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, no one answered. Uh-oh. Someone just said, hey.
Maybe my chat box isn't working anymore. Is mine not the last one?
No.
Let me scroll down. Maybe it's... No, I'm at the bottom. So, well, it doesn't matter anyway. For all you people that are still watching, 5 now. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for your donations. And we will be back Friday. This will be the last show that I do in the month of June because I'm going on vacation, and I'll be back Monday, July 2nd, I think is the right day. Whether or not Sparky will do the 2 shows while I'm on vacation, that'll be next Monday and Friday. I'll be here this Friday, but don't know what he plans. I hadn't mentioned it to him yet. But thanks everybody for coming. We had a great show. Everybody piled in right away. I didn't have to make up too much stuff to talk about, although I was getting on a roll with my intro. So I'm glad I could think of something to take up the dead air tonight. But y'all all have a great week, and come back and tell me all about it on Friday. And till then, fair winds, tight lines, and we'll see y'all later. Y'all take care.
All right, see you, everybody. See ya.
Good night.
Bye.